Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world. Pull up a chair. It's time to get down to the business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. Glad to be with you all here this evening as we're going to deal with a subject that you all have been highly anticipating here with bated breath. Some people have been waiting around since yesterday. So glad to have you all with us. We're going to go ahead and just get right into it here. Now, what I've been putting together here for a little while is something that will help you all to understand things a little bit better. And it's a matrix I put together, the desire performance matrix. Across the bottom is rating performance in the society in a form that cannot be falsified, which is numbers. And over on the side, you can see the level of desire, and it doesn't really matter, to be totally honest, because for females, if you can't get above average interest from her, she has no desire. So that's why you don't see any numbers starting below 7, because in reality, that's just where it starts at. And performance is key. And if you ask questions like how bad can it get, it can get bad. It can get real bad. How bad? Well, I have a few ladies who would like to speak to us tonight here. I'm speaking right now to, I guess I'll call her for the moment here, Mrs. K. What would you like to go by, ma'am?
Yes, Mrs. K, fine.
Okay, well, Kay, welcome to the business. Well, first of all, what I want to do here is I want you to go ahead and just very briefly tell me, I put up a poll question and you said that you were one of the people who qualified for that. I'd like for you to explain to everybody very briefly exactly what was, I was about to say what is, but what was your situation?
Well, I met my now ex-husband when I was 19. I was in college. He wasn't. I didn't have too many prior boyfriends, so I fell very hard in love with him. Unfortunately, because of the experience, I didn't, when you're in college, you're doing school, he was doing his thing, you're not really thinking in the future. So we were together for about 5 years. I was in Boston. I ended up moving down to Miami. He followed me about a year later, and then, to be totally honest, I got pregnant. And I was in love with him, so I didn't have a problem being with him in terms of marriage. But I did tell him we needed to be married because I didn't want to be one of those, one of the few minorities in my workplace, with the child and not married. So, and that's part of my family tradition too. We were raised that, most of us don't have any children out of wedlock.
So how'd you end up? Come on now. We got to take our lumps now. You say that's a family tradition. So how did you end up breaking the tradition?
I'll say this. When I was in college,
stumbling and stuttering
in Boston, it was a lot easier to get birth control. It was like water up here. You go, you get it, da da da.
All right, baby. Now, let's keep it real though. A woman does not get pregnant unless she wants to get pregnant. There's no such animal. There's no such creature.
I didn't take the necessary precautions.
Okay, so and the real question, but the question is, why did you not take the necessary precautions? Why did you want to get pregnant by this man?
Honestly, I can't say I wanted to get pregnant.
But a woman never gets pregnant by accident. She knows.
No. I'm not saying it was an accident. I'm not saying it was an accident.
So it was intentional. It's always it's 100% of the time intentional.
Probably.
So why him?
I can't even answer that question. Like I said, I was in love with him.
All right, there you go. All right, on the desire matrix, everybody, number 7. It's you're desired, but you easily replaced. Well, she's going to get to that in a minute. So go ahead and keep talking.
So we end up getting married. I end up having my first child about 3 or 4 months later, and things were okay in the beginning. I got pregnant again about 6 months later. So between my first child and my second child, about 16 months apart. But as things progressed, he wasn't really progressing work-wise. He was a mechanic. That was he went to school for it. He did okay in the beginning, but I didn't see him progressing. I myself did a lot to help him progress, encouraging him. At some point, he started his own business about a year and a half before the 2008 crash. But at
What
some
did he
point,
do? Well, okay,
wasn't.
2008. Wait. What did he do for a living by 2008?
He was still doing mechanic work, but he was at some point, I think he got a little frustrated with it, and then he was doing security.
Okay, in 2008, how old was he and how old were you?
2008, I was 38, and he had to have been 40.
Okay, that was 12 years ago.
Exactly.
Okay, so in 2008, you were 38 and he was 40. All right. So at that time there, he was doing mechanic work, and then you say he got a security job, so things are not going so great.
Right. Things are not going so great.
Okay, and what city and state did you live in at that time?
Miami, Florida.
All right, Miami, Florida. So housing prices were going down, but the cost of living was not. So that's going to be a hardship right there. So, all right, go ahead and keep going.
Correct. I just wasn't happy. The household, it wasn't being kept up. A lot of my pay was going to, he just was not contributing like he should have. He wasn't putting their end of the bargain in. And at some point, as you said, a lot of times women, when we're not happy, we make plans to leave.
Okay, wait. Back up now. So you say he wasn't pulling his weight. Exactly.
Correct.
What does that mean? Was he unemployed?
He was employed, but unfortunately, a lot of his money was going towards what men like to buy, stuff for his car, video games, just a lot of consumer stuff that I didn't feel was, my whole thing was take care of the major bills first before you start spending your money on that stuff. So, that's where my contention was.
Okay. Well, definitely that can be an issue there. So he wasn't making enough. He wasn't making enough money to service his habits and the home, is what you're saying, or at least not.
Correct.
Was it? Now, were there any bills that you all were behind on? Were you missing the rent? Were you missing electric bills? Were you actually missing any bills?
No, that's because I'm a responsible person, and I made sure all those were kept up. So, no, we were not behind on bills.
Okay, but you're saying that, are you trying to say that he wasn't contributing to bills at all? Because that's kind of unlikely.
In a nutshell, yes. He was not contributing at all. And again, I'll take blame for that, because unfortunately, the way we met each other, like I said, we were in college, he was doing his thing, I was doing mine. I did not have that. I didn't put those expectations out there from the get-go. And so he was used to not paying those bills. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I just ended up, unfortunately, doing it, the swallowing and doing it. You know what I mean? So, I'll take blame for that. I'll definitely take blame for that.
Well, that's another thing right there. So this was happening in 2008, you say?
Correct.
This man was damn near 40, still playing video games.
Basically, yes.
That means you met him like that.
He wasn't playing video games, but true, you're right.
Yeah, nobody picks up a video game.
He wasn't the most serious person.
Yeah, a man in his 40s don't pick up a video game habit. So it's just you met him like that, and maybe it got worse, or he started leaning on it more when things were getting difficult. But a man don't pick up a video game habit in his 30s. He's already doing that. So
you're correct.
All right. Was there anything else? Was he winking at any other women or anything like that?
No, he wasn't doing that.
Okay. Was he overweight?
Yes.
By about how much?
Wow. Probably a good 60, 70 pounds.
Oh, he was way over. How tall was he?
5'11". 5'10", 5'11".
Okay, so he was somewhere around, what, 260, 250,
probably
260?
240, 250, something like that.
All right. Well, definitely that didn't play into his favor. I will say that. Was the gentleman black?
Yes.
Okay. Completely black, mixed?
No mixture.
Okay. Was he
African
originally
American.
from Miami also?
No, he was from New Jersey, but lived most of the time up in the Northeast.
Did he have any kids?
No,
Was he previously married?
no.
Okay. And the two of you got married?
Yes, correct.
All right. So his money was, when you were younger, you were okay with it. But as time goes on, he's not performing. The housing market goes down. His income apparently is going down with it. He's not upgrading. You feel like you're having to do more than you should be doing. All right.
Correct.
So what happens next?
Now here's the twist. Around that time, Facebook, a lot of people our age were getting back on Facebook. My sister had mentioned a guy that I knew in junior high that I had a crush on. We dated for a little bit in junior high, and so she says, "Hey, I see his profile on Facebook." I said, "Really?" And I said, "Did you send him a message?" No, I didn't send him a message. I said, "Oh, you're chicken." So I sent him a message. We started conversing back and forth.
Okay, let me make sure now. You said there was another guy that you all knew. You had known him since high school, did you say?
Right. But obviously, after graduating high school, I did not have any contact with him anymore. So a lot of people that we knew in junior high and high school started getting on Facebook, and so that was
now. As you'll all remember, when Facebook originally started, that was its whole point, was to help reunite people with, their schoolmates. It was really made for schools and things. So she put that to use pretty damn quick. Now, your husband at that time, you had met him in high school also?
No. I met him in college.
Okay.
I was a sophomore in college when I met him.
Okay, you met him in college. And then
Right.
Your sister got you introduced to somebody that you all knew in high school again and said, "Hey, he's on Facebook." And you let your fingers do the walking, as the old telephone book slogan used to say.
Basically.
Okay,
Basically,
wait.
yes.
Now, this fella you talk, this guy here, did he live in Florida also?
No, the twist to this was that as we were conversing and I'm asking him, "Hey, what do you do? Where do you live? Are you still in Florida?" He tells me that he's in federal prison.
So your man that you were with was a security guard.
Correct.
And you went on Facebook to go get a date with somebody who's in the pen.
I didn't know he was in the. Here's the thing: I didn't know he was in the pen because I was confused.
Okay,
as to
wait, no. What did you do after you found out?
I continued to converse with him.
Oh, well, so that didn't make a difference. So let me get this straight, because I want to make sure we have a come to Jason moment. First of all,
Yes.
then I'm going to have to give you the business. This is what's wrong with black women today. Y'all come from two-parent households and then give the kids a single-parent household. That's messed up. Nobody in the family had any illegitimate kids. I'll be first. Break the tradition. Nobody in the family is dating jailbirds. Ooh, me. So we got the illegitimate kids. We got the jailbirds. Baby, what happened? Did you not get to live your Tupac fantasy from the 90s? What happened?
Yeah, you know what? That wasn't it. The thing was, it would have been different if I had met him in the pen and knew nothing about him.
Okay, but when you found out, it
about
didn't change nothing. It's not, that don't matter. But when you did find out, it didn't change nothing.
It didn't change anything because I think at that time, I was really fed up with the way my life was. And so I needed an escape. You know
Okay,
what I mean?
whoa. Wait a minute.
Something else to
what type of
occupy my mind.
What type of escape, ma'am?
Well, conversing, the writing letters, looking forward to something other than the life I was living.
Okay, so at that time you were telling yourself, wait a minute, you were still married to your husband, correct?
Correct.
So you struck up a pen pal relationship with a high school buddy who was in the pokey.
Yes.
While you were still married. And all of this primarily was facilitated by the fact that your husband's money wasn't right.
And there were other factors. He was very controlling.
Okay, but you married him. But you married him like that. So that wasn't a deal breaker. Because if it were, I figure within that decade, something would have happened.
Well, let's say this. It became more, as we got older, and it became more of an issue, I guess.
Okay, define controlling. Okay, define what controlling means. What does that mean?
Controlling in the sense of, this any old thing. What are you doing? Where are you going? Oh, I'm taking.
How's
the
that
kids to a
controlling?
birthday.
Okay, how's that control? Women do that all the time.
No,
Okay.
No. First of all, I never did. That's other women, but I never did.
No, you was chasing thugs.
Very...
You was chasing thugs, but go ahead. I mean, women do that all the time.
Right. Good example. There was one time I was getting ready to take the kids to a birthday party. He says, "Well, I don't want you to go to the birthday party." There's no particular reason why he doesn't want me to go to this birthday party, and I'm like, "Well, I'm going." So, as the marriage went on, it was a power struggle between us all the time about the stupidest little things. You know what I mean? And it was getting tiring, to be honest. It was getting tiring, and I'm sure a lot of women can attest to this. Especially when you're the woman taking care of most of the bills and this person's not contributing, the last thing you want to do is hear a man trying to tell you what to do. Now, if it was legitimate stuff, I wouldn't have had a problem with it, but half of it was illegitimate. It was the stupid stuff. I don't know if he felt not powered because he wasn't making as much, so that was his way to overcompensate. I don't know, but it was not fun.
All right. Well, we're going to come back to that here in just a few moments. Okay. So you struck up with this, a pen pal relationship with this fella in the pokey. And
yes,
okay. So what happens next?
What happens next is, basically about a year and a half later, I asked my husband for a divorce. I asked him for a divorce. That prompted me to feel like, you know what? I can do better. I hate that cliche term, I could do better by myself, but basically, yeah, I could do better by myself. At that time, my kids were 16, 14, and 13, or 16, 15, and 13. Like I said, to be honest, my plan was to wait for the youngest to be 18 and leave, but at that point I really couldn't last anymore. Either I was going to kill him or he was going to kill me. It was one or the other, or I was going to go crazy. So I had to.
No, it's not that. It ain't that far along. Come on now.
Well, it was not getting good. It was to the point where I did not even want to come home at night. Like, I would go to work and be like, damn, I got to go home. You know what I mean? I just didn't want to deal with him, the hassle, the headache, the constant questions, you know what I mean? It was just, it got to that point. So yeah, about a year and a half later, I asked for a divorce. He was not happy with it at all. He told me he would call, he would Baker at me. I must be crazy, blah, blah. It was a whole thing. He was not leaving lightly, let's say that.
Okay. Well, obviously, you're still here with us all these years later. Well, how long ago was that?
This was 2013 when the divorce got finalized. So I think I told him in the summer of 2013, and by November, December, it was finalized.
All right. Well, things are not going at all very well there. So now you're a divorcee with 2 kids. What was next on the plate for you in 2013 then?
Well, 2013, I was continuing to correspond with my, as you say, pokey friend. And interesting enough, he was fighting his case. I helped him out with it in terms of, he wrote his own appeal. We filed a lot of things with the court. And
ain't you a helpful woman? Go ahead.
Yes, I was. And ended up that at that time when Obama was in the office, he qualified for I forgot what the program was called, but basically to get clemency. And miraculously enough, when Obama was naming, a couple of hundred people every 2 or 3 weeks, he ended up meeting the final list before he got out of office. So he got out.
Okay, so I guess he's got a Democrat voter for life there. All right, so old boy got out the pen. All right, after he gets out the pen, what next?
Oh, well, we're together right now.
Okay, what is he doing right now?
Right now, he's the owner-operator, and he owns 2 trucks right now. Two semi-tractor trucks.
Okay. Then I got to ask you, so what is your ex doing now?
My ex.
Don't say you don't know.
No, I do know. I do know. He's he lives about 30, 40 miles away. He's in an apartment, single, and doing his thing, working.
Working doing what, ma'am? Working doing what?
He one of those guys that put fuel in the different fuel places. You go to the port, pick up the fuel, and drop them into the gas stations. That's what he does, which I heard pays pretty well.
Okay, well, sounds like you got motivated, just not motivated soon enough. So, I certainly doubt he's making as much as an owner-operator with 2 trucks. So that would be a whole different situation, especially because once you become an owner-operator, you can start. It's really unlimited the number of trucks you can get. So, old boy came out and was really motivated. So that's really, really good. So I'm glad to hear y'all are making it along here and things. Are your kids? How many of your kids are still at home with you?
2 are. One is in the military.
Okay, boy, they got to be with the man that mama was creeping with. Damn. Fellas, if you want to know how bad it can get if your paper ain't straight, these chicks are scandalous out here. If you want to know how bad it can get this bad. The fella she was creeping with, now your kids is calling him daddy. Damn.
Well,
damn.
They're old enough they wouldn't be calling him daddy. I'm sorry, they don't do that.
Damn.
They're in their 20s now. So.
Okay, well you calling him daddy, but in any case, that's damn. It's messed up, y'all. Fellas, I'm trying to spare you from this. This is not for entertainment purposes. I'm trying to spare you. These could be your kids right here. You still want to play that Xbox? You still want to keep your manga collection? You still want to keep up with your anime? Really? Oh, one more thing. The trucks that he got, I'm interested in knowing, how did he do that?
Well, luckily he has a very generous father, and his father really wanted him, knowing what his situation is, that it would be difficult for him to really make some money in a regular job. His father helped him buy the first truck. And so, that's how he got the first truck. Second truck, thank God the PPP came out, and he was, he met some people that knew really what they were doing. And so he got that PPP money and bought his second truck, and he's progressing. He's progressing. He now gets to hire 2 drivers, and, things are good.
So you feel like you bet on the right horse?
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did. Yeah. I feel so. Yeah.
You don't have any regrets? Maybe think you might have made the wrong choice?
Nope. I don't think so. Nope.
Fellas,
I could tell you I'm much happier now than I was 10 years ago.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Fellas, I want you to understand. I want to thank Kay for being honest here, because fellas, I want you to understand, this is the real deal. This is the way it goes down. If the money ain't right, a woman's desire is going to be directly tied to that. By the way, you said she came with this bull jive talking about he was controlling. Now, if his controllingness, all them things weren't a problem until, by the way, the money ain't straight no more. Well,
You're right.
Can we let's just keep it 100. A woman don't really give a damn what a man do. If the money is straight and she can go get her nails and hair, the easier her life is, the more she can overlook. Period. The easier her life is, the less concerned she is about what you do, the more crap she will overlook. It's really that simple. If you want to be that dude, it depends on how much you're producing. Now, the fella you're with right now, you can't see what's on the screen right now, but I don't want to get too far up in your business, but does he make about how much is he making now?
Man, he's raking in about $10,000 to $12,000 a month.
Okay.
Now that's revenue. That's
okay.
That's
Yeah, but okay. Well, that's okay. But the point is, I mean, he's basically in the top 8%.
Basically, yes.
In American income, he's in the top 8%.
Yes.
He's in the top
And
8.
I'll have to say one thing from the time that I talked to him, off the bat, I can tell he was a go-getter. You know, that's one of the things. Now, had he been sitting there and just twiddling his thumbs and he was, you know, it would have been a different story. But off the bat, I could pick up already that he was a producer. He was a producer. So, you know, like I said, I hedged my bets, you know, and it worked out.
That's basically the way it goes. There's a lesson to be learned, okay? There's a lesson to be learned. Some of the broke dudes in the chat are in their feelings. Man, I don't like that there. Fellas, female nature is never going to change. Period. You can throw that out your damn mind. If your mama didn't teach you that, if your daddy was a deadbeat and you didn't know, female nature isn't going to change. You can like it or lump it. Don't matter which part of it you like. That's female nature. That's who and what they are. This ain't me talking. A woman, at the end of the day, she gonna get money if she has to. But emphasis on the word has to. She would much rather you do it. She got other stuff she'd rather be doing. And her affinity for you, her desire for you, is the foundation is going to be your ability to produce. And if she believes she can do better, she gonna pull out all the stops. She gonna be ruthless. Remember what I taught you all. It isn't uncertainty that runs a woman off. It's certainty. When a woman becomes certain,
I have to attest to that.
That becomes an issue. If she becomes certain that you're not gonna be able to do any better, if she becomes certain in her head that this is the best you're gonna do, then she's going to be like, well, hell, I'll risk the marriage and everything else. I'm certain it's not going to get any better. Remember, fellas, it's uncertainty that keeps a woman. The fella who was in jail, he got out. Now, she was hella uncertain. But as soon as his feet hit the pavement, he started hustling. All of a sudden, she's uncertain. And truth is, she's uncertain today. She doesn't know if he's peaked yet. She doesn't know. That's why she's sticking around. She can call it whatever she wants to, but the bottom line is women's desire for a producer is fueled of the reason why women don't exercise hypergamy is when they're unsure that they've gotten the best deal. If she's sure that she's gotten everything out of you she's going to get, then she's going to see if she can trade up. But right now, she's unsure. She's like, wait a minute, let me stick around and see how far this goes. That's where she at right now. And truth be told, that's the way it's always going to be. Period. Period. In the chat room, it took someone's girl from jail. I mean, was it really taken? Well, yeah, it was. I mean, but the point is, I'm letting you guys know, women, sugar and spice and everything nice. I'll be damned. These females are cutthroat out here today. It's ruthless. Period. I'm just trying to prepare you for the environment you go in, and there's not a single female listening to me right now, live in the chat, recorded or otherwise, that you're not the same way. The fellas in here, your threshold might be stronger or higher. But the bottom line is eventually, if you're not producing, she's going to start adding up numbers. It's going to be that simple. She's going to start adding up numbers and you might make the cut. Then again, you might not. And here's the other problem. Even if old boy had found out, what was she going to lose? That's the problem. Even if he had found out what she was doing, the real question is, what was his leverage? What was his leverage? If she's got to pay half the bills or most of the bills, she's like, well, damn, I'm basically paying for everything. What's he going to take from her? Women are not loyal by nature. They're loyal by circumstance. She's going to ask herself, well, hell, what is the liability? If I go into insurrection against him, what's the punishment? He's going to leave? He's not going to pay any bills? And he's not paying enough to keep me happy now. So what am I going to lose? And I'm not saying that I agree with everything. She was dirty macking to the fullest. But I am telling you all, this is reality. Whether you're listening to me right now from the age of 16 to 60, this is what it is. Okay? Do you have any last thoughts you would like to leave the ladies and the gentlemen with?
Well, you hit it on the nail in terms of uncertainty. Because there was at one point, I did ask my ex, I tried to give him a chance. I said, hey, I'm unhappy. You know, I want to upgrade the house. Blah, blah, blah. Well, you know, this is the best. I don't think I'm going to make more money. He literally told me he wasn't going to do any better than what he was doing. And that was it for me.
Oh, man.
That was it.
You all know what I got to do now.
I want to give advice to the guy, y'all better.
Oh, I got to do it. I got to do it. I got to hit y'all with the deposits and withdrawal slip. There it is. There it is, fellas. There it is. Automatic overdraft is failure. No wins or being totally defeated. When you tell your woman that you are defeated, that you're beaten, that there's nothing you can do and this is it, you're throwing in the towel, you're raising the white flag, she is going to go shopping for your replacement. You know why? Let me ask you a question, Kay, before you go. When you were 38 years old, did you have a Prada bag?
Hell no.
Do you have one now?
No, because I'm
Stop.
not a designer.
Stop. No. Cut it out.
I mean, I really was never into that. Now you can impress me with a car or a house.
Okay. No, my point is, do you still want one?
Oh, well, sure, yeah. Why
Okay.
not? You know, someone's gonna give it. If someone's gonna give it to me, I'm taking it.
Okay, and she jumped from one fellow who told her what she ain't gonna get and jumped to the fellow who she had a shot to get and all that. Women don't give that up, guys. They don't give that up. There's something I want y'all to understand. This is a rule I want to teach you all tonight. Women are insatiable. Women are insatiable. The only thing that a woman likes more than one trip to a 5-star restaurant is 3 trips. They get used to the benefits very quickly, and they do not wish to give them up. They don't want to give them up. They're always going to want something better. They're always going to be looking for something better, and if you're not able to deliver, just understand that's going to be a problem. It's going to catch up with you. It's going to catch up with you sooner or later. It's going to be an issue. And she might do it nice, and again, she may not do it nice. So, Kay, I want to thank you for your honesty. I want to thank you for your candor. You were just brave enough and bold enough to say what these other women are doing. They're going to pretend like they're not doing it. And a lot of these fellas who are low producers are going to be trying to sit here in denial and be like, oh, they ain't all like that. And I just want to let them know, fellas, Kay is not the exception. Kay, do you know at least 2 other women with a story similar to yours? Maybe the guy wasn't in the pen, but do you know at least 2 other women with a story similar to yours?
I can't.
Oh, come on.
One.
Scandalous chicks traveling packs. Don't try that right there. They wouldn't be friends with you if y'all wasn't the same.
Let's say this. It probably is 2. I just don't know the details, but I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. Well, just understand, if you're in a room with Kay and 3 of her friends, at least 50% of the room, 50 females in the room is cutthroat. Understand that. If it's her and 3 of her friends, at least 50% of the women in that room are ruthless. That's not me, that's math. Well, Kay, I want to thank you very much for giving us a call. This has been enlightening for some, frightening for others. They ain't gonna know what to do with it, but now they got to deal with it. Definitely give us a call back and let me know how things are going with old boy. When he go and get you that Fendi, let me know so I can let the fellas know. Hey, dudes, this could be you. It's not the thing, okay? Thank you very much for giving us a call.
Have a good one. Thank you.
Understand something here, guys. That could be you. I'm not being mean. I'm trying to tell you, by the way, these are the rules. Let somebody else lie to you. Okay, if you're struggling and whatnot and you want to live in denial, go ahead and try to live in denial. But the ladies are not being honest with you if they try to argue with this. This is the way it is. These are the rules, whether you like them or whether you don't. Whether you think it's a great idea or whether you think it's a horrible idea. These are the rules. That's all I'm trying to tell you. This is the truth. So if it frightens you, if it scares you, if it bothers you, well, so be it. But this is what it is. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can bring up another caller here. I got another person here I've been wanting to speak to. All right, I'm on the line here. I think I'll just call you Candy. Is that good enough?
Sure.
Okay,
Yes,
I hear myself echoing, so if you have speakers or something on, let's go ahead and turn it off for me.
You off speaker.
Okay.
Sure.
And by the way, yes, if y'all didn't like it before, you're going to be very, very upset. Now, Candy here, by the way, she's built like Meg the Stallion. So if Meg the Stallion is y'all's cup of tea, that's Candy. So, Candy, by the way, where are you originally from, Candy?
I'm from White Plains, New York, and I grew
Wow.
up in Connecticut.
I just want to say one time, New York hoes is scandalous. Go ahead.
That's not me.
Y'all figured
At all.
if they're not in the city, if they're upstate New York, it'll be safe. No, nigga, ain't nothing safe. There's nothing safe in the Empire State. All, A-L-L, all of the females from New York are just like this. And we about to find out what this is here in just a moment. So, all right, Candy, you said you wanted to, by the way, y'all, I can do this all night. Candy, you wanted to give me your story, lay it on us.
Okay. Well, basically, I came out to the D.C. area in 2002 to attend Howard University. And there I met my college sweetheart. And I could say maybe I was running away from Connecticut and New York. My mom had gotten into some trouble and my dad too. So I just felt a little lost and I decided to go away for school. And I wasn't really the partying type, but I think I was, possibly looking for love in the wrong places. Like I met someone who was actually from White Plains, New York, the first day of school, and we linked up and we just were inseparable pretty much. So he was my priority, rather than my books. And
Okay, now, wait a minute. Wait.
Yeah.
How old were you at the time and how old was he?
Oh, sure. Yeah, we were both 17 when we met. Because
Okay.
we turned 18 in freshman year.
So
in college,
another
so
Taylor,
really.
I'm telling you, these chicks be going back in the reservoir, back to high school and everything else. All right. So you met this dude when you all were 17, okay, and what happened next?
Basically, Jason, fast forward, we were all through college. I mean, it got to the point we were like Bobby and Whitney, hitting each other and all that crazy over each other. And my gave me an ultimatum because he was paying. I purposely, actually backing up, I didn't want to stay in the dorms because they had rules about who could sleep over and whatnot. So
you was already trying to get your slide on. So another chick in college and whatnot, and she's like, I'll just take these paternity chances. So much for studying in school. She was like, hey, I thought college was for hoeing around. All right, what happened?
So, yeah, I stayed off campus. If you're familiar with D.C., it was a bad neighborhood at the time, Rhode Island Avenue. And my ex, he stayed there in the off-campus house with me. And our landlord told my dad, at the end of that semester that he had been hitting me. But she didn't know I was hitting him, too. I hate to admit it.
She from New York, by the way, as I said, them New York broads. Okay, they will swing, they will cut you, they'll run you over. New York and Atlanta. If a chick is from New York or Atlanta, watch your back. Go ahead.
Yes. So my dad, he gave me an ultimatum and he said, you're going to go to school in Connecticut with me to UConn, or you're just going to have to pay for school yourself because I'm not going to put up with this. And then I was so bold. I basically moved all my stuff. Him and I saved up. We got a car. And that summer we worked and didn't tell anybody. We went to my storage unit, emptied it, and we got an apartment together. And that same year I got pregnant and did not know it. My junior year, going into senior year. And I didn't find out.
You got pregnant and didn't know it. Another chick. Do you all understand how insulting? Do you all understand how insulting it is to get with a bunch of grown people talking about you got pregnant and didn't know it, as if we all don't know how pregnancy works? It's the year 2020. That mess about I didn't know I was pregnant, I don't know how to get a divorce, that died in 78. You're around grown folk. Don't talk to other grown people like this. Don't talk to other grown people. You were having unprotected sex because this was your boo and you thought you were in love and you wanted to get pregnant because he wasn't going to marry you. So you figure, well, I'll do the next best thing and play house.
Well, Howard did misdiagnose 300 girls that year. The little clinic there was really jacked up. So I thought I couldn't get pregnant. They stopped giving me.
Boy, I'm telling you, another chick talking about, fellas, watch out for these hoes talking about, I didn't think I could get pregnant. What are you, an OB-GYN? How are you going to know if you can get pregnant? They always say that when they want you to get them pregnant. Oh, I can't get pregnant. Let me see the doctor's documentation on that. Well, there ain't none, but I got this little tingle in my leg, and I can't get pregnant when my leg is tingling. Please, this is insulting. You wanted to... Why can't you just tell the truth? You wanted to get pregnant and you kept having sex. Didn't. You kept having unprotected sex until you did.
I swear I really didn't. To this day, I have an actual unicornate uterus, and I was born with half a kidney. Oh. So I'm one of the people that I don't get a cycle every month.
Okay,
so
but a cycle has nothing to do with ovulation.
Yes, but I have one side.
Oh, did y'all see that right there? She said a cycle as if that's what determines pregnancy. No, if you're ovulating, she skipped right past ovulation. Well, it wasn't a cycle, so she's acting like we all don't know how the birth process happens.
Jason, I'm telling you the honest to God truth.
Where was your mother?
Oh, well, my mom, she had moved to Florida right before I went to school.
So Mama was in them streets.
Well, Mama
was in them streets. Okay, she had a drug habit. She was in them streets, and her daughter is learning about sex from whoever lays on top of her. So
pretty much.
Let's just be very clear. That civil rights generation, damn all of y'all. Okay. Next thing here. Okay, now you're pregnant. How old were you at that time?
Mm-hmm. I was 19 and I actually gave birth at 20.
Okay, she met this dude at 17 and she was pregnant 2 years later. So no accidents here. She figures she's going to wiggle and finagle her way into a marriage. Go ahead and tell us what happened next.
Oh gosh, yeah. So it just went downhill from there. He was probably seeing other girls, and I had gotten a job with the federal government. So I was, I just wanted a steady lifestyle. Like you said, I thought I would be getting married and all that. But he just was, he was a late bloomer. So he started to drink and just get in a lot of car accidents and DUIs. And he was really irresponsible. So I left him when my daughter was right before she turned 2. I got into another relationship with my ex-husband immediately, simultaneously while I was getting out of the college.
Wait, hold on a second.
Mm-hmm.
This guy, you got with him when you were 17, but you say you got into a relationship with your ex-husband? How old were you when you got married?
Mm-hmm. I got married at 24.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And we met when I was 21, and it was a pretty quick thing. I don't know what to say. I mean, he asked me to marry him the day that we met. That's guys aren't in DC, some of them.
Okay. Wait, stop. Yeah. I want to make sure we have the chronology correct on this.
Mm-hmm.
So The fella, yo boo that you got with when you were 17.
Yeah.
Because don't refer to him as an ex-husband because you're screwing up the chronology here. From 17 to 20, you were with this one guy, correct?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
so unless you got married in between the age of 16 and 17, your ex-husband came after this guy.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Okay,
Yes,
so what you're really saying is that you were with your high school sweetheart until you were about 20, and then you met somebody new who you married and then couldn't keep him neither. Okay, we'll get to that in just a minute.
No.
But we'll get to that in just a minute. No. We're gonna run you through the ringer in a minute, but I want to make sure we get the chronology straight first. So 17 to 20, you were with your high school sweetheart. You got pregnant. You had a kid. What happened after you got pregnant, though, with him?
Well, he at first, he wanted me to get an abortion. He was really upset about it, and I was too far along to get one. And I actually moved into a place with my best friend, and he stayed and moved into a place with his friends, and we both stayed in the D.C. area. And then, eventually he moved in with me, and it was volatile, Jason. I mean, at one point he slammed our door to the apartment so hard he broke the door.
Okay, but that could have been cheap. That could have been a cheap door from Family Dollar. So moving right along here, my real point though is you were with this is the guy you chose. Okay, you were not 4 years old, and let's just be very, very clear. You was at an age where you loved drama. And he was giving you the drama you wanted, so this is exciting. I don't have to watch Love and Hip Hop. I'm living it. So, this is so exciting. And women always think it's exciting until the guy lets you know, he ain't playing. He's really going to leave you with this kid. So what you're telling me is this guy got you pregnant. You wanted to keep the child. He never married you.
No.
Okay, so what I'm trying to find out is, what precipitated you all breaking up?
Basically, I would go home to New York and Connecticut every month to see my dad or family. And one weekend I went and he stayed behind at the apartment, and I found hair in the garbage can, weave hair, and he was acting, funny. And I also looked through his phone and I saw that he had invited.
Man, you gotta watch these chicks with long hair. They're gonna leave some evidence. Your broad gonna come back like damn me Columbo. She's gonna come through the apartment like damn me Columbo. Going around, she's looking for hairs. She's looking for clothes. She's looking to see if one of the chest of drawers hasn't been pushed in. I mean, y'all become damn me Sherlock Holmes when you're looking for another woman. It's like an episode of CSI. They're looking for everything. Is there a lipstick stain? Has something in the washing machine? Has the washing machine been used too much? Do I see a strange footprint on the carpet? Boy, man.
Yeah, I mean, I used to check his private part when he came home. It was that bad.
It was on and messy.
Very.
Oh boy,
yeah,
it was on and messy. Stop, Candy.
Mm-hmm.
How many STDs did he give you?
He didn't give me any.
Oh,
he didn't give me any.
New York is the epicenter of STDs for the y'all chicks who be sleeping around. It is the epicenter. Don't try that.
I mean, we were in D.C.
Okay, so. DC's not any better, by the way. D.C., New York, Atlanta, New Orleans. Anyway, ma'am, okay, he gave her something she don't want to cop to it. She's like, why you gotta ask me that? Okay, she don't want to cop to it. You gonna tell me all that was going on and he didn't get no gonorrhea?
No, I mean, maybe he was using protection.
He wasn't using it with you.
That's true.
How you do one thing is how you do all things. What are you talking about?
Oh, gosh, I hope not.
All right.
Ugh.
You hope not. All right. You were sleeping with him after you had suspicions. You were checking things because you already had suspicions.
Yeah.
All right. There you go. All right. She ain't going to stand on it. She don't want to stand by it now. So, okay, I'm just going to move right along. But she knows I know. She's getting squeamish because she's like, damn, Jason knows. Yes, I know. Yes, I do. All right. God. You came home and you found a stray hair, which, by the way, it could have been the housekeeper. It could have been the landlord, by the way. I think you were really jumping to conclusions.
Oh no, I mean he was guilty. Trust me. Like
Okay,
he's
you're talking about you
acting.
found numbers in the cell phone. That could have been the person helping with the science project.
Oh no, Jason, this was back in the MySpace days, like in '07, and he said, "Hey, gorgeous, what you doing? Can you come by?"
He was just buttering her up. Okay, you gotta, and men have to try harder. You're not being
Oh
understanding.
my gosh.
All right. Anyway, what happened next?
So, I was kind of nice to him because he did assist me in getting that vehicle. Like I think it was like a couple thousand down, and that was a lot of money for us at the time. So I would
How much? Wait. How much did he put on that vehicle?
Probably 1,500.
Okay, so you
Down.
put 2,000 down. He put 1,500. You put 500.
Yeah.
Oh, you owe him a side chick. What you talking about?
Oh, Jesus, come on.
You owe him. You owe him a side broad for at least a little bit. He just put 75% of it down. You didn't have to. You basically had to put nothing. You owe him a side chick for at least a few months. Good grief.
Jason, I was supportive.
Okay, you need to support him there. He was going to get out of his system. You just want to be greedy. All right. Anyway, she put in 20. He put in 75%. She put in 25%. But now she wants to complain about what she didn't get. But she didn't offer to put in the 75%. So, all right, fellas, this is how women are. They do not think fairly. They out for themselves. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. So after the whole car thing, I also allowed him to be on my cell phone plan.
What did he do for a living?
What
did he do for a living?
At the time, he was a car salesman.
Oh, okay. Well, he had the hookup for the cars.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Was it a new car lot or a used car lot?
It was a combination, but he was really lucky. He's actually a real intelligent dude. His boss at the time was like a mentor for him, so he like helped him get on a fast track to become a financial. What is it? The people that crunch the numbers when you get the car.
Finance.
Yeah, finance manager. So that's what he does now. He probably makes more than me, honestly. And he didn't finish school. I went back and got 2 degrees, and he never finished, and he makes more than like most of our peers and things. But he's really, really bright. So that's what he was doing at the time, and he just stuck with that.
Okay,
and
so
we
he's
were
working
pretty amicable.
He's working at a car lot at the time. Okay. And so what happened? You found some what you claim was incriminating evidence, but I still dispute. All right, so what happened next?
Oh, so I was telling him to babysit my daughter, and I was going out.
Wait a minute, slow down.
Friends.
You said babysit my daughter. Isn't he the father?
Okay. True, he is.
Wow, okay, well that didn't take long, but y'all hoes are scandalous. This is his child, and you talking about I told him to babysit my daughter. Oh, really? Okay.
I mean, he didn't take full responsibility of her for a while until she was about 4.
Okay,
so maybe was bitter.
Let's be very clear.
I'm sure.
Let's be very clear. I'm not gonna let him off the hook, but let's be very clear. You chose him.
Yes, you're right. I did.
Those character traits didn't just jump up one random Thursday. He was already like that. You overlooked it until you got into a deadly serious situation, and now he's still doing this same old character trait at a time that you really need him not to.
Definitely. Yeah, in retrospect.
All right, what happened next?
Right. So what happened next, I guess I met, the guy that I married. We were all going to the club, some friends from college and some of my
By the way, did he ever get a paternity test?
No, the baby looked just like him.
That don't mean a damn thing. There's a bunch of kids out here look similar. Baby, come on, you was in them streets too. So what you mean is he never got a paternity test. Okay, I just wanted to make sure we clarified that though.
I was scared of him. That boy is like 6'4", and I'm like 5'5". I'm scared to death of him.
Okay, my point is he never got his paternity test. He might have been able to get out of it. If he had gotten the paternity test, he probably could have got out of it. All right, anyway. Baby, look here. You know what you was doing. All right, moving right along now. So you're still with this guy, right?
Yes.
Okay,
I'm still with him.
So what happened to precipitate the breakup?
Well, basically, it's kind of a setup. This might be a little interesting. So he had a best friend, this half Puerto Rican cat, and they used to get a lot of attention on campus. These mixed race kids or whatever. And he was dating one of my girlfriends, a half white girl. They looked like brother and sister. And so him and my ex were out cheating together, you know, and they would get a lot of attention at the club and things. And so she found some things in his phone, and her and I had become really close. And we started to compare notes. And she said, you know what? How about this? Since they want to play like that, they can live together, and I'll come and sublet, you know, a room from you, because I had like, I think 2 or 3 bedrooms. I think 2 bedrooms. And my baby at the time was sleeping in a room with me. I had a real big apartment. And so my girlfriend came and she didn't kick him out. She, you know, moved in with me, and my ex moved in with his friend. And we kind of just like forced him out that way. That's what we did.
Okay. Well, that doesn't, well, I mean, I guess that was coming there. Now, what we were talking about here tonight, though, is that you left your guy because we were talking about women who leave their guys because they didn't make enough money. So I see what you said in your email, but I haven't heard that part yet. So am I going to have to clown a chick?
Oh, no, please, Jason. I'm one of your biggest fans. I know everybody says that. Listen to you like every day.
Okay.
But my ex-husband is the person I was talking about that ran into some money problems. He's doing well now for himself, but a couple years ago before we got divorced, like he had hit rock bottom. He was like humiliated and embarrassed. And instead of us coming together, it just really spread us apart.
All right. So I guess that's a good preface there. So you got a baby daddy, you had a kid, you met another guy. How old was this guy when you met him?
So he was 23.
Okay,
she moved. 23.
They move quick, don't they? All right, so he was 23. How old were you?
I met him when I was 21, going on 22.
Boy, I'm telling you, boy, she hopped off of one dude. I mean, like a rodeo, boy, she hopped off one nigga. Don't y'all understand? Look, single moms are scandalous, and they do not change. Especially when it comes to their baby daddies and exes. Oh, they'll lay up in a minute. I got to tell the business. They'll lay up in a minute. Single moms are something else, ain't they? All right, well, what she say? I got to get me another nigga before these stretch marks don't rebound. So let me hurry up and get another one. All right, so you hop from dude number 1, you hop to dude number 2, and this time you were like, all right, let me get somebody who's going to marry me. What did this guy do for a living when you met him?
He was in the probationary period for the DC firefighters, so that's what he did.
Oh, she said, let me flex my light skin privilege. Oh, she said, let me flex my light skin privilege. Oh
my goodness.
Fellas, are y'all paying attention? Are you all paying attention? She said the baby wasn't even out the stroller yet.
No, she wasn't, no.
Do y'all understand that? She didn't even wait till the baby could walk. She pushed the stroller straight up to the fire station. These females are scandalous. I'm trying to educate all of you. I'm not just saying it to be saying that they scandalous. She was fresh out of college too. She gonna tell you she was at Howard. And, I'm college educated. I got 2 degrees, and thottish as she can be, man. The DC Fire Department is lit. Cause you wasn't the only one, were you?
No, sir.
Thank you. They lined up at the fire department. By the way, this goes into the chart that you all see is on your screen right now, because we about to find out about how much was he making.
He was making a little less than me, like about 45 to start out.
Oh, boy. Okay. You all can see on the chart up here, by the way, when you're getting that $40,000 a year, you're really in that around that 50th percentile, by the way. That 60 percentile. You're down there. You could be friend zoned, or you could be easily replaced. Oh, man. I wonder how this ends. Go on.
Yes. So we met, and it was a whirlwind. immediately, actually, when I met him, he was living with his mother, to be honest. He wasn't doing much with his life before he got onto the DC Fire Department. He was a little lost, but everybody credited me for somehow changing him. And I won't take the credit for that. I think he met me, and I had a lot of drive and ambition, and he would almost do anything to keep me.
That's right. That light skin privilege, boy. These new niggas. These new niggas meet a light-skinned chick, and it changed my life. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It changed the way he dressed, everything.
So you got him to marry. You got him to marry you.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He asked me. I mean, it got to the point we saved a little money.
Okay.
Together.
How long? How long after you met him did he ask you to marry him?
I met him in 2007. He asked me in 2009.
Okay, it took
was
him
like
2 years. All right. That's about right.
Yeah.
Some other folks don't understand the metrics, so yeah, 2 years is right. All right. When he asked you to marry him, what did you say?
And it wasn't really it was weird, Jason. Like, some of our mutual friends in our group were going to Jamaica, and that's where my family's from, or half of them. And he said, well, we both kind of said, like, if we are going to spend the money on that, we might as well get married out there. And we were kind of joking around. This goes to show you shouldn't joke and play about serious things. And,
yeah, because he didn't know you really wanted to be married. He didn't know you were serious. You wanted to be married. You like, somebody got to take care of little Larry over here. So, all right.
Exactly. And we had bought a house together. Well, I bought it in my name. His credit was jacked up, but he was paying the mortgage.
Okay. How'd you buy a house at 23, man?
The first time home buyers program.
Okay.
And I had a really good job with the federal government.
How much? Okay. You work for the federal government. Okay. Boy, she was
Mm-hmm.
milking all that, wasn't she? If the federal government ever stops subsidizing you gals, boy, I'm telling you, no wonder they love the federal government. If the federal government ever stops subsidizing y'all.
Look, they owe us reparations.
Baby, look, that's not reparations. You messing up the landscape. The rest of us need reparations.
You good, Jason?
No, you messing up the bag. You messing up the bag for us, okay?
I'm protecting the homeland.
Baby, look here. Anyway, all right, what happened next?
So, yeah, we got the house, and he was paying and doing what he's supposed to do, and then we got married, and it was kind of a rush because his father was terminally ill, and we had already paid for this wedding in Jamaica, and then it was before his father had fallen ill, so he didn't want to cancel it because he didn't want to lose the money, and so we wound up like having a rush wedding in DC before Jamaica, and
okay.
We were fighting like crazy too, so it was like.
Oh, really? Tell me more.
Yes.
Tell me more.
Yeah, it was fine. Jason, he had a drinking problem.
Okay, so let me get this straight. The first dude you got with, the problem wasn't you, it was him. Oh, he had a bad temper, Jason. He was really bad temper. She gets with another guy. Oh, Jason. Oh, we was fighting all the time. Really? I only see one common denominator, but the problem is them. It ain't you. The problem is them.
Jason. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke cigarettes.
Okay.
And I eat healthy.
So the problem, both your relationships are volatile, but the problem isn't you. The problem is them. All right. I just want to be sure.
Me too. I go to therapy. I realize that I've dealt with a lot of toxic stuff, and I bring myself everywhere. So yeah, I don't think I should be with anyone seriously for a while.
Okay, but that didn't stop you. That didn't stop you though. So, all right, going on back. Let's have it again. So you two got married, and what happened?
So we got married, and his job got really hectic. At first, when we got married, he was working in Georgetown.
But what year did you two get married in?
2010.
Okay, 10 years ago.
So you know that DC is being gentrified a lot, and at the time it was like right in the middle of that gentrification process. So he was really bored working in Georgetown. There wasn't much action for him, and he wasn't learning anything there. So he had asked voluntarily to be switched to Southeast DC, and that's the hood. They are building up and doing different things there, but it's still bad in some parts. So he was working there, and he started like drinking even more heavily, and I think it's because of the things that he's seen on the job and stuff. And also his dad had just passed from cancer. So that caused a lot of problems because when he was off from work, he would just like sleep out, and I was just so offended, and he would, if we went out together, he would get pissy drunk somewhere and I'd have to drive him home.
Okay, all right, but why did you leave him? Because now you're trying to drag his name, and I'm just saying you was out there with him. You was in them streets drinking and everything else with him, so what?
I don't drink.
Okay, then you smoking weed. What precipitated your breakup?
Oh, the breakup? Well, basically cheating. I mean, as soon as I got pregnant, I was really sick because of those problems I told you about that I was born. I have a birth defect, and I got the shingles. And as soon as I got sick, and I guess it was no sex for him, he started cheating. And I mean, it was weird because we'd been together for 6 years, so it wasn't up until like 2013 that I'd ever caught him cheating. And I mean, that's the first girl that I caught him with, and I caught him with about 4, all different races, white, black, Spanish, everything.
Okay. Now, Candy.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, there's somebody in my chat room who claims to be your ex-husband.
Oh yeah, I figured he'd listen.
Okay.
But does he want to call in?
I mean, I don't have a problem putting him on the line. No. Sir, you can just email me at give him my email address and have him email me his phone number, and I can give a few minutes for him. He can call if he wants to. No, tell him to email me. Just tell him to email it to me. I don't want to put any information in the chat room. My mods need to listen better. Now, in any case here, the real thing though is, like I say, tonight's program though is for a specific type of caller. So I'm asking you, at what point does your situation become what we're talking about?
Well, I would say when he got in trouble with the fire department, like I emailed you, he'd made some comments about the police, and it was right around the time of the Alton Sterling assassination. I don't know what you want to call it, but I think it was in Louisiana. He gotten on Facebook and basically said something along the lines of, we should start taking matters into our own hands and start shooting crooked cops. I don't have the exact quote, but once he said that, he went viral because the news showed up to our home and interviewed him, and he didn't really double down, or I don't know what the word is. He didn't take his comments back. He, stood by them, and a lot of people didn't like that and take kindly to that, and he was like suspended, or he was on administrative duty for a while, and he used to make a lot of money doing overtime, and with that he was able to pay most of the bills. And we had just had a kid, like maybe 1 or 2 years before he got in trouble, and we just moved into a new home, a bigger home, in 2015. So it was just like a really bad time for him to have those money problems, and like I felt like I had to take the brunt of paying and juggling everything. And I was also paranoid about my own job with the federal government because my bosses were asking me about his comments and if I felt the same way. So I felt like paranoid as if they were going to set me up and I would lose my security clearance.
Okay. So what happened?
So, I mean, I believe he turned to a female that was from his past, the girl that he's with now. And I think part of it is that he likes her. The other part of it, I think, is...
Okay, but ma'am, seriously, all kidding to the side here. I've asked you a question. Now, at what point are you going to get to what's relevant to what we're talking about? Because this is about the third time I've had to say this, and now I'm really suspicious here. At what point did this become you doing it? Because we're talking about a specific type of situation. So at what point did you cheat on him or whatever?
Well, I had a friend at work around this time that, I was confiding in, an older gentleman, because I was really fed up with my ex just constantly cheating on me and embarrassing me. And I started seeing him. The only thing was that he was actually married too. And he told me that he was separated, and
Okay, so
come to find out he wasn't.
you stuck up a relationship with a guy who was married.
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
don't try the I didn't know, because once you found out he was married, did you break it off with him and stop talking to him?
No, not once I found out.
Well, okay, thank you. The bottom line is don't try the, oh, I didn't know he was married. That's not, obviously it's not a factor, because when you found out, it didn't change nothing. So, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that he lied about being separated, because his wife turned up pregnant, and I thought that was like a big red flag to me, because if you guys aren't living in the same house, how does she get pregnant? And that's when I broke it off with him. But my ex-husband, he was like really in deep with this girl that he's with now, to the point that we were going to counseling, and I thought we were working on trying to.
Okay, but I really just want to focus on you. Okay, well, I got about that. Please stop referencing your ex. We got that part. You weren't happy. He did some things that might have gotten public attention. Got it. We're talking about you, though. You already explained, okay, because of that messed up his money. We got that. Let's not reference him anymore. We just want to talk about what you did about it.
Okay. So, yeah, that's basically what I did. I confided in the person. I mean, he still reaches out to me now. He's actually divorced. But I just can't bring myself to deal with him, because I don't trust him now after everything that happened. I knew him for a lot of years. I actually met him around the time, like in 2007, when I met my ex-husband. I met him.
Okay.
And,
so I want to make sure of here, though. You were still with your husband at the time, and you said you started confiding in somebody else?
Yes.
Okay, so you were interested in being with somebody else while you were still married, but you weren't able to pull the trigger on him because somebody was already sitting in the slot you wanted to be in.
Basically. Exactly.
Okay. Well, but you're still talking to him now.
I mean, we're coworkers.
Okay, so, but y'all are talking to each other outside of work.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you. All right. Fellas, a woman is never single. Y'all have to forgive my voice. I swallowed wrong and it's messing with my vocal cords. But a woman is never single. That's the biggest lie in the world. They got back pocket, front pocket, side pocket dudes. Y'all know I call them the back pocket dudes. They got dudes in their back pockets, their side pockets, their front pockets, hot pockets. They keep somebody on speed dial. So, how did that turn out? I mean, well, you're not talking to him, so did you get with anybody else?
I'm seeing a younger man now.
Okay, how old are you?
It's embarrassing how old he is.
No, I said how old are you?
Oh, how old am I? Oh, 35.
Okay, you're 35. How old is he?
He's 28.
Okay, so the fellas in her age group are not choosing. So she's going to see if she can break in some young fella. And by the way,
not true.
Okay, what does Mr. 28 do for a living?
Well, he has a few different jobs.
A few different.
But he also works for the federal government, and then he does like things on the side.
Well, I guess she figures he's got potential. He's not asking a bunch of questions about raising somebody else's kid. Well,
no,
that could happen. What would be
he doesn't have any kids, and
that's real convenient for you, ain't it? Why don't you go find you a single father? Leave this dude alone. He's not messed up. You've already messed up yours. Leave this fella alone. He's 28 years old, and you trying to dump your issues off on him because you know sex is new to him, and you sitting up here trying to turn him out because you all that freaky stuff you like to do. He's still struggling to get chicks to do it, but you're gonna go after a fella who's already straight. Why you gonna get a fella who got no kids and go mess him up and have him come in to patch up your problems? Why would you do that?
Jason, I just met him randomly. Like, I thought,
single mothers never do anything randomly.
Maybe I'm naive. I didn't think it would go this far.
Baby, you know every damn, at 35, you don't know everything you're doing. You perfected it. She was like, these niggas in their 30s are not looking for a single mom to fix her life. Let me go get somebody who don't know the game yet. Off to their 20s.
Well, the grandpas didn't work out for me too well either.
Okay. Baby, the ones your age. You were the same age as them dudes.
Oh, no, not that. I went, like, I dated, like, 50-year-olds, 45.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna fool with you neither. They're not gonna, that's what I'm saying. The folks, your peer group and everybody older, they already know the game. So you went to go get somebody who's too young and naive and silly. He doesn't understand what's going on. He doesn't know how calculating you are. You sitting there talking about, oh, don't worry, my daughter won't be a problem. She like, yeah, this nigga gonna patch bills.
Oh, my gosh. Jason, them old dudes still love me. I chose to
No,
leave.
they love to lay up.
Please.
They love to lay up, but none of them are even pretending to offer you any tangibles. None of them are even pretending to. They just gonna dip through, lay up, and be like, all right, I'm out. Because they done met, by the time we get our 40s, baby, we done met 100 of y'all.
Oh my God.
We trip over single mothers. We tripping over single mothers at the gas pump.
Oh my God.
And you know it.
Mothers who are married before?
Baby, you know it. You know it's true.
Oh my gosh.
You know it is true.
So harsh.
Baby, you know it is true. You had that kid before you got married.
Mm-hmm.
That don't mean nothing.
You're right. You're right, Jason. But, I mean, I don't know. They talk a good one, I'll tell you that.
So do you. So don't get mad. Don't get mad.
Oh
so do you. So do you. Well, do you have any last thoughts you want to give the ladies and gentlemen listening?
Just be careful out here. And, you know, I think that people should really look into their past and their childhood and see if there are any patterns that they have been, you know, following with their parents or whatever they've seen, and make sure they're not bringing that into their relationships or how they raise their children, because I think that I made those mistakes, and unfortunately, while I was doing it, I wasn't aware of it. It was just kind of like monkey see, monkey do. This is how I was raised, and that has been like to my detriment. So that's what I'd recommend.
Okay. Well, for all the light-skinned chicks out there, I just want you to know you represent them well. Well, thank you very much for giving us a call here. Please do give us a call again.
Okay, thanks for having me.
All right. Well, fellas, you got to understand they're lurking at all levels of society here. It's going around and around. Before we do anything else here, I do want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program in the Streamlabs, the Super Chat, the Cash App. Thank you very much for that as well here. To everyone who has, we especially appreciate that from you here. The new B1 Media is a lifesaver. Thank you very much for that, sir. Norman Brooks, thank you very much for that as well. Cryomancer, you that G, thank you very much. Empress Courtney Scott Wilson, Black Voltron, that's my dude. You understand that? Somebody named Golightly, I don't know who you is. Mr. Black, so thank you very much as well. Mr. Black, not me. Don't get us confused, please. All right, well, I know what y'all are looking for. I know what you're waiting for. So her husband has sent me his phone number. At least they claim this is the phone number here. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can get him on the line. And we're going to see if we can find out what his version of the story here is. I don't want a bunch of flaming going on, but I am interested to hear how the cheating thing turned out.
Hello?
Norman, turn off your speakers. Don't turn them down.
Yeah, I got you. I got you. Yo, hey, what's going on, man?
All right, brother. Well, you said you're her ex-husband.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Well, now I kind of feel like I've been set up. Well, I'm going to see where this goes. So,
to be honest with you, I just randomly turned this on, and I recognized the voice, and I heard her talking. I was like, "Oh my God!"
How in the world does anybody find me randomly?
Well, no, I mean, so we both used to listen to Tariq Nasheed, so I mean it's probably not random because we listen to both of you guys.
All right.
So I turn it on and I hear her voice and I'm like, oh my God. I went and got my fiance. I'm like, yo, she's talking about me.
Okay, well, yeah, she was. All right, Norman, I don't want to get deep off in the woods about things here, but I really just want you said that she was lying about something. I really don't need a bunch of details. Specifically, just tell me what it was she is, according to you, lying about.
So, I mean, first off, I want to be respectful because we've been through a whole bunch of court stuff. So we're finally at a point where we can raise our daughter without being at each other's
Clearly, that's still under construction, but go ahead.
Correct. So, she has this victim mentality where she doesn't understand the things that she's done, and she presents it as if I wanted to. All right, let me put this in perspective. We got married very young. So
okay,
when I got
Norman,
married to her,
Norman.
Yes.
Okay, both of y'all kind of got an issue with this, brother. I don't need all those details. I asked you specifically, what was it? Because you said she's lying. What specifically was she lying about? I don't need a bunch of details. Just tell me which part was the lie.
Well, so number one, she lied about the part about me just running around here cheating wildly. Like that really wasn't the case. Okay. I didn't start cheating until she started acting out and being violent.
Okay.
It's the violent behavior and the bad attitude that drove me to cheat.
Okay. Well.
And I don't think that she mentioned that.
She kind of tried to gloss over it, and I was like, wait a minute. I mean, I think you probably heard me say, nah, that doesn't make a bunch of sense, because how'd you go from one guy to another? That'll work on somebody who's naive and doesn't know any better. But in the real world, you went to two guys, you claimed both of them were hitting on you and this, that, and the other. And then she said she was hitting on y'all. Okay, but I'm like, the only common denominator is you. So it's more likely that she brought physicality to her relationships because she gets a high off of it. So what you're saying is she was lying about that part. What else?
She didn't lie. Well, so that's what pretty much led up to the cheating, and that's what led up to me just not really being interested in a relationship. I mean, we got married young, and so that was already a mistake. And just me realizing, like, yo, where's my life headed? Like, I can't deal with this every day. So, it led to me just moving on. And
okay, let me ask you something else.
To a hit.
Let me ask you something else here. You were a firefighter, yes. Correct?
Yes.
When you saw her pushing her baby stroller up to the fire station, dude, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? Besides she's light skinned with big breasts, what were you thinking?
So when I met her through a mutual friend, we were all about to go to some club, and we were like 22 years old, 21 or 22. So I didn't meet her like with her kid. Like I started talking to her that night, and we got to know each other. And then, I didn't really mind the kid at the time because actually, I actually helped raise her because I met her when she was like 1.5. So I wasn't even a firefighter at the time that I met her.
Okay, so
I got into the fire department after the fact.
Okay, so she met you after you got there. Okay. Oh, now, when she met you though, had you already put in your application?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
actually.
So that's what I want to know is that
she knew a job like that takes like a year or two to get.
Right, but what I'm saying is that okay, how long did it take from the time you put in your application to the time you were hired?
About a year and a half.
Okay. Did she meet you within that year and a half?
Yes.
Okay, certainly. So when she met you, she knew that you were a prospect to be a firefighter.
No. I'm not the type of person that gives all that information out when I meet somebody.
She must have suspected something because she stuck around. What were you doing?
I was doing okay. I had a government job at the time. I was doing all right.
All right, she loves. Okay, I noticed something. She hopped from one dude with a government job to another. So that clearly that's her hustle. All right. So when after she found out, according to her, she came home and found evidence that you were cheating, this, that, and the other. All right, got that part.
Yeah.
Then
she never really found any solid evidence that I was cheating. But I'll say after the fact, I definitely was. But she never found any solid evidence.
Okay. Well, she claims she found it. I'm like, damn, she was doing MacGyver in the apartment. So
I mean, I'm like Eddie Murphy. You got to tap me on the shoulder to catch me.
Okay,
but
well,
you know.
Well, I'm just saying she knows nothing. Slow down, Kojak, because it's like she doing everything up in there. All right. So after that though, what happened after she found out you were cheating?
You know, arguing every day, more violence, more yelling, more cursing, accusing me of any and everything under the sun. And, you know, I definitely cheated more because it just wasn't a good situation. At that point, I was only there because of the relationship that I had with her daughter.
Now, how long was that though? How long were you
and
with
we're
her?
Talking, so I met her in 2006.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think things started getting rocky right after we got married in 2010.
Okay, so it was 4 years.
2010, 2011.
Okay, because she was like, y'all got married 2 years later. So, but you're saying it was,
nah. We met in 2006 and we got married in 2010.
Okay. Well, after that, after you all got married, what precipitated the divorce? I mean, besides, was it the cheating that did it? Because she claims it was you started having money issues after those statements were made. So, was that what precipitated it?
I really wasn't having money issues. It's just the fact that, and I'm not trying to point fingers, but neither one of us really handled our money correctly. So, in hindsight, when I'm well into my 30s, I realized that you can't live your life based on extra money, like overtime. And we were living our lives based off of overtime. But she made way more money than me at the time.
Oh, you say she made more money than you at the time?
Yeah, she made more money than me at the time. But the overtime that I was able to make working for the fire department, afforded us to do the extra things in life that we wanted to do. But so what happened was I never got suspended or anything like that. They put me on desk duty. And when they put me on desk duty, I wasn't able to earn any extra money. I wasn't able to get nighttime differential, overtime,
that's
holiday
as a fire,
pay, anything like
now,
that.
Was that as a firefighter?
It was a straight check.
That was as a firefighter?
Right.
Okay. So
right. I was getting a straight check. And anybody who works in that type of service knows a straight check is trash.
Okay. All right. Well, that would certainly have an issue there. So once your income went down, did you know that she had started trying to test the waters?
I mean, I honestly didn't care. I was hoping she did because I was doing so much on my own. I would have felt better if I would have known at the time.
I mean, so what you're saying is you didn't take offense at it?
No, I mean, I'm not even going to put her out there and tell you how I found out. But
why don't you tell us how you found out?
Okay, I mean, well, so look, I found out because after the fact, while we were getting divorced, certain people started hopping out the woodworks.
Okay.
And then I just started getting solid information. People that I know were involved in all of that. And I think those are some of the things that she's leaving out of this story.
Okay, well, let me try this a different way. The way that she described it to us was there was one guy who was a coworker of hers that she started striking up a rapport with.
No, there's more than one coworker.
Okay. Now, that was the part I didn't ask her about, but I figure from her past, it's probably more than one dude that she got. That's why I was telling her on the phone, single mothers be having back pocket dudes, front pocket dudes, side pocket dudes. So it's not one guy. If you all want to know why I said that statement, I was just saying, this is what I meant. The odds of there just being one guy were astronomically low. And especially with her past and everything, because even by her admission, it was within a year that she went from her ex-boyfriend to you. So, I mean, her damn stitches might not have healed up properly from the pregnancy, and she was grabbing somebody else. So
when you say she went from her ex-boyfriend to me, are you talking about when I first met her?
Yes.
In 2006? Yeah, because, she, as a matter of fact, we were actually intertwined, like, before they even actually broke up.
Okay, so now she didn't
which
mention
is
that.
something I should have known. I should have
Yeah.
seen.
How you
but
how
I was
you
young.
get them is how you lose them.
Oh yeah.
How
But, I mean,
you get them is how you
I
lose
didn't really
them.
see it as a loss because I'm the one that initiated the divorce.
Well, yeah, but it's a loss of your time, brother, and loss of your resources.
Oh, yeah,
you know,
for sure.
because her daughter is not your daughter, so you start getting attached to these kids, and you know, it's certainly it's a hassle that you don't need, by the way, because you're on my phone right now. This is a hassle. It is a net negative, to be totally honest with it. But I mean, it could have been worse.
Like we had a daughter. Like that was that mentioned? Because I don't know if she.
Okay, now she says she brought a child to the marriage.
No, she brought a child to the marriage, but we actually had a child, and I think that's what pretty much prolonged the marriage even more.
Okay. All right. Well, definitely she was smart enough this time. This time she got married before she had the kid. So single moms are slick. They start getting smart and it's I got it out of order. I gotta ring this next nigga. Okay, let me get the marriage first, then the kid. All right, now I got him. Fortunately for you, or unfortunately, well, fortunately for you, your income dropped. Then you got out from up under that, so hopefully you're not having to pay alimony.
I mean, I'm actually doing okay. I mean, I'm in the real estate. I got a couple of things going on. So I mean, the fire department is actually my secondary income base at this point.
Oh, good.
I'm doing okay.
Okay, so you're actually still working as a firefighter.
Oh yeah. Okay. I mean, nothing ever happened with that situation. I mean, I handled it correctly. You know.
Okay. Well, definitely the real issue here, though, bro. Like I say, just for everybody listening here. I was saying from the beginning here, I'm taking a look at the college record here, and I'm not going to drag her name and stuff. I said it while she was on the phone, so I'm not saying anything behind her back. I'm just like, y'all are scandalous out here, man. Y'all are scandalous out here. And how you do one thing is how you do all things. So I had no reason to believe that what she was doing in college, what she was doing with, her boyfriend was going to be any different from what she was going to do with you. So
correct.
It certainly kind of played out that way, and she met you while she was with somebody else. And when things started going south with you, she started looking for your replacement while you were, I guess you were still in the same house with her, but she was looking for your replacement the whole time. And she wasn't looking for a boyfriend either. She was trying to get somebody who can get her a house and everything. So she was very serious about it.
Man. Honestly, if I would have known it while it was happening in the moment, I would have felt 1,000 times better than coming home at night like, damn, when am I going to get caught? You know what I mean? I would have rather just known it back then. I'd have felt way better.
Well, let me ask you here, the guys that she was talking to, were these fellas that she knew before you?
I mean, I don't really know any of these people personally. Well, I don't know the person.
Did you meet any of them?
I do.
Did you actually meet any of them?
I mean, one of the guys that she dealt with while we were getting separated was one of my friends.
Okay. There you go.
And then another of the guys was a friend of the family. So, I mean.
Okay. There you go.
In fact, if it wasn't for that guy who was a friend of the family, I would have got totally screwed in court.
Well, there is a lesson to be learned there. First lesson, fellas, how you meet them is how you lose them. How you meet them is how you lose them. That's just something to keep in mind. Second of all, light skin with big breasts. We got to get over that, fellas. We got to get over that hurdle. I know it's like kryptonite, but y'all got to resist the urge.
Can I say something to that, please?
Yes.
Please, can I say something to that? I don't so that description is wild to me, but like we were both young people at the time, and I don't meet women like, I don't have no preconceived notion. I want a light-skinned woman. I'm not. That's not me. You know what I mean? I didn't understand that whole statement.
Well, what I will say here though is the other thing is, because you said you were young, and I do understand. Especially if y'all are young, sex is new to you. These are chicks who've been doing it since they were in their teens. A lot of fellas here, like I say, is they kind of catch you off guard. And we really got to keep our guard up about that kind of thing, because they're coming to you. They're coming with an agenda. They're coming with a plan. They're coming with a strategy. And you're just minding your business. And
but
My only issue
No,
about it is,
you
like I
got to
say,
get
is you got to be careful because once you have kids,
Yeah, for sure.
now it's going to be a whole lot messier. Because it's one thing if you had just got married and then left, but now you got married, now you have a child with her, and now it's like, it's going to make everything a whole lot harder.
I mean, it was definitely hard during divorce. A lot of wild allegations got thrown around about me, but I managed to overcome all that, and ultimately, things didn't work out against me. So, but just to say one thing about the sex and early on, like I was raised in a two-parent household by two great parents who taught me value. So I think one of the things that I got caught up on was the fact that her life was together. And a lot of the women that I was meeting when I was 20, 21, 22 didn't have their life together. So that was a little more attractive to me than the sex per se.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing, fellas, I mean, to the ladies out there listening, a man don't want to get with a broke down broad. We really don't. And a lot of y'all who don't have kids, you kind of think to yourselves, well, as long as I don't have kids, that's a magic wand and it excuses everything else. But we look at you all holistically. So yeah, it helps if you look a certain way, but if your finances are jacked up, that could be an automatic overdraft. If your finances are messed up, especially if the guy has ambitions, he's trying to go somewhere, he's trying to build something, he wants to have a certain type of life, and you're bringing him a bunch of debts, a bunch of bills, a bunch of problems, that can be as bad as having a kid. A lot of y'all think as long as you don't have a kid, you're home free, but you come into a fella with a bunch of debts, bad credit, you're upside down on your car, forget a house, you're upside down on your car. And, that can be as bad as having a kid. That really can be as bad as having a kid because what are we going to do? Get wrapped up in your finances? We can't really pay for anything. You're not going to pay for anything because you're wrapped up. So, yeah, and I can understand how for a lot of other women, they might have disqualified themselves just right out of the gate. Well, brother, I'm glad you gave us a call here, like I say, to help set the record straight about that. Certainly, like I say, I mean, there's two sides to every story. So, definitely in the future, I hope that stands as a lesson learned. And I'm glad you got things together in this point here. And, you all just try to work things out, at least for your daughter's sake.
For sure. And then, that's the court stuff is pretty much over at this point. So, I mean, nobody really got screwed out of the deal. So at this point, it's all about just moving forward and making sure that she lives a great life.
Okay. Well, definitely. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Please do give us a call again. Certainly here, like I say, there's a lesson to be learned. There's a reason why I go into these details about this because, like I say, I mean, you all already know. I already knew what the deal was. I already knew it was happening. So it's really just a matter of just getting them to go ahead and just admit that. But you already know what the deal is. You already know what it is. Thank you very much to everybody here who has helped contribute to tonight's program. We appreciate that as always. I actually have another caller. Oh yeah, it gets better. I actually have another caller on the line. Gonna see if I can go ahead and get her on here. This ought to be good. See if we can go ahead and dial them up. Yeah, this is what we do here. Fellas, take these as cautionary tales. Really take it as a cautionary tale and pay attention.
Hello.
Hello, Reed. This is Jason.
Hi, Jason.
All right. Well, you heard that. So that means now you got to top it.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, I'm going to try.
All right. First of all, how old are you currently?
I'm 35.
Okay, you're 35 years old. All right. Now, where does your story begin?
My story begins like in 2007 when I met my ex-husband. At the time, I was 21 going on 22, and he was like 19, 20. We met, and at the time, my mom was really going through a lot. She had a stroke and a seizure, and she was really talking to me about finding someone to build with and settle down with and not necessarily going for high-value men. And so I kind of took her advice. So when I met him, we were on the same playing field. Like, we both worked in retail. So financially, we were on the same plane. Over the years, we basically just kind of fell apart. I started making more money, and I'm looking at him to pretty much hold his end of the bargain, and that's just not something that he was really interested in. He was more so interested in having affairs, basically. So by the time I hit 30, I was just done with it, and I went ahead and just filed for divorce.
Okay. Well, that doesn't sound very good. Why do you think that occurred?
Honestly, just I don't know. I asked him several times, like, what is it something that I was doing in the marriage? Was I not supportive enough or anything like that? And he just always told me that I was fine, like I wasn't doing anything. I feel like he was just insecure about the fact that I was always able to take care of myself. I was always able to take care of the household. I was the breadwinner. I paid all the bills. And I did explain to him before we got married that that's not something that I was interested in. I wanted him to be the head of the household. And it was just a task, I guess, that he just felt like he could not live up to.
Okay, let me find out here. When you met him, how old was he and how old were you?
He was 20 and I was 21, 22.
Okay. And then you all got married.
Yes, we got married when I was 24 and he was 22.
Okay. So you were 21. He was 21. You were 20. You were 21. He was 22.
He was 22 and I was 24 when we got married.
Okay. So you were 24. Okay. You were 2 years older than him then, or you are 2 years older than him. All right. And well, definitely. What was he doing for work when you married him?
He was in retail. And so
Retail.
The problem was
he
with
was,
him
he was in retail. Okay. Where'd you work at? Piggly Wiggly? Family Dollar?
No, sir. He was a store manager at a shoe store.
He was Al Bundy.
Basically, yes.
Okay. I won't step on that right there. He was starting out. That's not a problem there. You got married. Did you have kids?
No, sir.
Okay. Wow. You got married but didn't have children with him. Now, how long were you all married?
We were married for 6 years.
Okay. You were married for 6 years. So from the time you were 24 to the age of 30. Why didn't you have children in 6 years, ma'am?
So that was another issue that was in the marriage. We definitely tried. He definitely wanted to have children. He had a daughter from a previous relationship.
There you go.
However, it just never worked out for us. However, I did have an ectopic pregnancy, and the day that I found out I was having the ectopic.
So you had issues getting pregnant.
Right.
Okay.
And the day I had the ectopic pregnancy is the day I found out that he was having an affair, and that's when I ended the marriage.
Yeah. So basically it sounds like he realized after you all got married that you couldn't have children for him, so
yes,
that's what that sounds
basically.
Like. Okay. Well, that's going to be an issue there. I'm not going to lie to you. Like I say, I mean, a woman, if she's not able to have children, you know, you might, at that point, you'd have to look for somebody older.
He actually dated someone younger.
No, okay, let me try this again. You.
Oh, me, sorry.
You would have to look for somebody older because men in your age group or younger are still wanting to have children. So you would really need to look for somebody older who has zero interest in having children if you're unable to conceive, or especially if you're having ectopic pregnancies, you know, that could be, that's life-threatening. So that could be a situation for you there. So you definitely don't, in your case there, that you're going to have a hard time with men in your age group or younger. That's going to be difficult, especially if they got their money together and stuff. Like I say, if the only thing that he's missing is having kids and you can't have any, unless he just doesn't want any, that's going to be hard.
Right.
That's going to be hard. It's going to be hard for you to be attractive to him. And by the way, y'all, she's very cute. You know, she's a little cute, dark skin thing, which is all nice and everything. But yeah, that's going to be a deal breaker, man. I mean, that's since the beginning of time, though. This is not anything new for men and women. But if a man wants children and he's with a woman, to be totally honest with you here, even if, I mean, it can be hard even if he doesn't want children. if a man is with a woman whose body can't do everything, that automatically, can diminish her value at an intrinsic level. You can do, it doesn't matter if you're 25 years old, if you can't have children, that's just automatically going to diminish the value. Just automatically. Because he's basically going to have to make decisions that he will never even be able to change his mind. That's another thing. A guy's got freedom, but if he got with you, he would never be able to change his mind. So he can get with you, but he just has to completely forego the idea of having children as a consequence of being with you. So you have to have somebody who mentally and emotionally has made that decision, that he's okay with that, and that he can live with that. So I'm just going to tell you right now, that's going to be a tough one. That's going to be hard. That's going to be really hard. You have a lot of positives, and that's good. Accentuate those. You might want to see a specialist about that if you haven't seen one already. You probably want to see a fertility specialist to see if there's anything that can be done to prevent that from happening, or if there's any reason why you might not be able to conceive. Because it sounds like you all were trying to conceive and you got pregnant one time, but how long had you all been trying before you actually got pregnant?
6 years.
So you've been trying to get pregnant for 6 years?
Yeah.
That's going to make it hard. It's just going to make it difficult. Now, I'm not going to say impossible, but I am going to tell you that the men you're looking for you're not going to go younger like you did before. You're going to have to go older.
Okay.
You're going to have to go older. But like I say, it could work out for you because, like I say, at this point right now, with him being older and stuff, certainly be making more money and things. And if he's not interested in having children and he knows you can't and he knows that's not going to be an issue for you, that actually might make things easier for you.
Okay.
So definitely, I understand what's going on there. It can be tough, but try looking at something older. That's really going to be the best situation for you there.
Okay. Yeah, I've been dating older guys since we separated. I just haven't gotten into a relationship. I've been officially single since we separated. So I'm trying to.
How many men have you dated since you No, you said separated. Slow down. Are you and he divorced?
We're divorced. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. How many men have you dated since you got divorced?
3.
Okay. How long you been divorced?
Since 2016.
Okay. Well, 1 a year. Try not to rack that body count up too much, dear. You floating around the streets. We've been wink wink dating, okay? And those are the ones she's claiming as dates. She ain't counting the one night stands and the jump offs and I met this guy on TikTok.
Oh my gosh.
She's not counting. We know how women's math works. When we ask you all about your body counts, we know how y'all's math works. Dating means sex. But those are just the ones dating means the one she wants to claim. That's not the one she don't want to claim. So there's usually twice that many that she don't want to claim. So I will tell you here, while you're enjoying your newfound liberation, try not to rack up too much there because that's not cool. You don't want body counts. You already have to deal with one thing. You don't want body counts dragging you down as well. And don't start getting desperate. So that's important also. But beyond that, like I say, everything else is, let me find out here. What is your income like?
I make $40,000 a year.
Okay. What city do you live in?
Houston.
Okay, baby, that's no good.
I know.
Okay. Right now, you are economically undesirable.
Right.
That's a bad spot to be in, especially with everything else you got going on. That's a bad spot to be in.
Right, and I figured that's been the problem that I've had with dating older guys.
That compounds it.
Yeah.
That compounds it. Now, here's the other thing. You said you were pregnant, correct?
Yes, sir.
How far was that your only pregnancy? Be honest. Be honest.
Yes, sir. It was.
Here's the issue here. Did it cause stretch marks?
No, sir.
Women don't like to claim their stretch marks.
No, I really don't. I don't have it.
I'll make you send me a picture of your abdomen. Because everybody
That's fine. I can
everybody
do it.
remembers the caller from the UK who claimed that, oh, you can't. I mean, I wasn't pregnant until I kept asking. Okay, she did get pregnant. Oh, but I lost the baby. Okay, I ain't got no stretch marks. I'm like, heifer, I can see them. So, all right. Here's the issue for you though, baby. You got a double whammy on your hands right now. It's one thing if you can't have children. It's another thing if you're broke. I mean, if you're struggling. You live in Houston, Texas. And while that's certainly not Austin or Chicago, I mean, that's Houston. $40,000 a year, baby. All you're gonna do now is attract a guy who makes 40,000. So what I'm saying is, now you're in a guy over 40 making $40,000 a year. He's struggling.
Mhm.
That guy's gonna be struggling. So I don't think you want to get wrapped up in that.
No.
I don't think
absolutely
you want to get wrapped up in that. So on top of everything else, yes, you are going to have to get your weight up. I mean, especially like at 35, you don't have a second to waste. What do you do for a living?
I am a store manager.
Okay. The store doesn't pay anything. Do you have a skill?
Yes, sir.
What is your skill set?
I am a fashion designer, which is how I got
Ma'am.
into retail.
If you don't stop,
What do you mean?
that's not a skill. That's an ambition.
Okay. Well, then, as far as the skill set, no,
Okay,
sir, I
you
don't
do
have.
not have a skill set. You need to get one.
Yes, sir.
You need to go. I think you would make a wonderful nurse. I think that would be a hell of a lot better for you. You'll be making 40,000 in your first year. Hell,
Okay.
there are CNAs who make that. You can be a CNA before a year is over. You can be an LPN in a year and a half. Now you have to keep working to get an RN, but right now you're on a path to nowhere.
Okay.
What I'm not going to ask you what store you work at, but what type of store is it?
It's a women's clothing store.
Okay. You do realize you've topped out, right?
Yes, sir. I've
Okay.
actually gone backwards in my career.
Correct. Because, being a fashion designer is great and everything, but if you can't pay to get off the ground, take a look at Kanye West. He's got way more money than you or I. How did getting in the fashion business work out for him? How hard was that for him
Right.
to do? And that was hard for him, and he's got way more resources than us.
Right.
So, right now, from a basic level, you're underachieving. And I'm just saying, what you're doing for a living right now, you're already getting max pay. Is this a
Right.
chain? Is this a chain store, or is it just a local one?
It's a chain store.
Okay, unless you're going to get hired as a regional manager, and what are the chances of that? Slim and none.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying you need to get a skill, because a skill is not dependent upon the needs of somebody else's business. So
Understood.
right now at 35 years old, you're pretty much stalled, and you're going to need to get that corrected now. You're going to get that corrected now. Because I'm just going to tell you right now, straight out, because I'm not the place that lies to you all. And you wanted to talk to me because I don't shade it. You already have one issue. Not having money is another. You're about to be 40. Once you get 39, pretty much 80-90% of your options are going to evaporate.
Gotcha.
Because the problem is there are too many females who have clean slates younger than you at that point. At that, once a woman reaches 40, the scales have tipped in favor of women younger than her. And by the way, there's just too many of them. You have too much competition that is younger than you, and they aren't carrying any of the baggage that you've accumulated, just by getting older. Just by the things you've been through. You don't have ectopic pregnancies and all this old stuff right here. And just by virtue of getting older, you're going to have too much competition that is younger than you are. So, and right now you're already about even and tipping in their favor already. But in a couple of years here, it's going to be monumental. It's going to be this huge obstacle to overcome. Because even the guys older than 40 will not be looking for a 40-year-old female. It'd be different if they'd known you for a while. That might save you, but you don't know anybody like that.
Right.
Because really, if you get to 40, you're going to try to be finding somebody who's 50.
Right.
Plus, you're in Houston. The male prospects in Houston aren't that great to begin with. And it's great that you're young, you don't have any kids and everything right here. But like I say, you got negatives that you need to correct quick, fast, and in a hurry.
Yes, sir.
So definitely, I'm going to advise you quick, fast. What you're making right now is not desirable to a man. Certainly not a man who's stabilized. You're walking in the door, mature. He's going to be expecting you to be able to carry your own weight. And that he will add to that. But he's not going to be looking to pick you up and carry you. You're going to have to show him, when you were 22, you could still do that. But at 35, you're going to have to show him that you're lightweight. That he should pick you up because you're lightweight. Not that you're weightless, but that he should pick you up because you can carry your weight. But you can't do that on $40,000 a year. So you're going to have to give him an incentive.
Okay. You pretty much confirmed like everything that I was thinking and feeling. So thank you for that honesty.
Well, you can do something about it. So the good news is you can do something about it. You haven't screwed yourself off totally. You've waited until late in the day, but you're still able to do something about it if you want to.
Yes, sir. I am currently actively looking for better employment. So yeah.
Well, you shouldn't be looking for better employment. You need to go back to school and get a skill. I would recommend that you do nursing. Either nursing or IT. You can start looking into getting your IT certifications. If you like computers. But the fashion thing, that's too iffy. Because like right now, what is your credit like right now?
It's not the greatest.
Okay. So you see what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So you don't even have money you can call on. So right now you're just relying on your own income.
Yeah.
So that's the situation. So if you want to get somebody who's doing better than you, you can't be struggling. Because at the age you're at right now, like I told the previous caller's ex-wife, once we all meet you past a certain age, we can see all kinds of problems. We don't want the debt issues. We don't want the kids. We don't want the baggage. And, at this point, you have to give them an incentive. So you have to get everything. You're going to have to clean up your rap sheet so that the right guy will take you off the market for that. But what I want you to do, I would like for you to give me a call back. I think that'd be cool. Oh. You should give me a call back. I'd like to see how things are going about that. Like I said, I give people advice on things. I'm one of the only people who stands by it, but if you give me a call back on that, I'd be interested to find out how that goes.
Okay, I will definitely do that. Thank you so much, Jason.
All right, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. I look forward to hearing from you. Ladies, don't play the field too long. Do not play the field too long. It is very tempting. It is very seductive to just stay out there. Bad idea. Bad idea. I have another caller that I want to see about getting on the line. Oh, yes, another one. I'm going to see if I can call her up here right quick.
Hello?
Let me see. All right. I'm on the line with Mrs. J. How are you doing? This is Jason Black.
I'm doing good. How are you?
Dealing with a whole bunch of stuff on here, man. So, all right. Lay it on me.
What question do you want to ask me, or I can just go into what?
Well, let's start with how old were you when you met the gentleman?
I was 15 years old.
Oh, another high school sweetheart. So, fellas, those of you who believe that you've known this woman for decades, I know her like the back of my hand. We were kids together. if you think that's going to save you from her cutting out if the money gets low, you got another thought coming. She just going to be your longtime love who's going to get up and leave. So go ahead and tell us what happened. What city and state were you all in?
From Dallas, Texas.
Oh boy, my old stomping. Where at in Dallas?
Mesquite.
All right. Well.
So met him in high school. We actually had 2 kids, married at 24. I believe 12 years I stayed faithful, and I cheated 2 years ago. And actually, he found out by being in my phone. The guy was texting me on Messenger. So he asked me, was I cheating? And I actually admitted that I was, because I felt like throughout the years it was sporadic as far as he would make money, and then he would find a job, and then he went to the oil field, and then it was on and off in there. And I just felt like he wasn't doing, maybe so, not so much that I wanted to, but I was pushing him to do better in life, like we were supposed to.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait. 2 years ago, how old were you and how old was he?
I'm 36 and he's 37.
Okay, you're 36 and 37 now?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so you were 35, 34, and he was 35.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, so 2 years ago, how long have you been working in the oil fields out there?
He works in the oil field for, I would say, periodically of maybe 2 years. He went, 11 months, and then he went back, and you know how the oil field goes. They lay you off when it's
right
down.
It's an on-demand industry, and when the Saudis start dumping product on the world market, that can shut down everything, which is what the Saudis do. When the Saudis turn their pumps. But the Saudis and Russia have now formed an alliance, basically, to control the world's oil markets. So if they want to at any time, they can just dump cheap oil on the world's markets and basically put a whole bunch of people laid off immediately. So that is not nearly the protected business that it used to be. Not nearly the protected business. So let me find out here. What do you do for work?
I work for Raytheon. I do procurement.
Oh.
So I'm like a buyer.
Oh, my. You work for Raytheon?
Yes.
Well, I would like to just point out, by the way, they don't let black men anywhere near those type of jobs. If they let a black person, they'll only be a black female. So there's certain jobs that we just can't get, by the way.
And you're right, because I didn't really even have to interview to get that job over on the phone, and it was just someone that I know got me on to that job.
No, black women have all kinds of privileges that people just don't acknowledge. Black women get all types of preferential treatment that we as black men just will never get. And then they want to demand more. So if it seems like we don't have a lot of patience for nonsense, because y'all get a lot of preferential treatment that we don't get. Hell, even when you do something for a job, a man doesn't have the option of showing some cleavage and showing some thigh and getting hired. We can't do that. We can't do that, Not unless, not unless Freddie Prince is, not Freddie Prince, but Freddie Mercury is in charge of hiring. But in any case, so 2 years ago, you decided you had enough. Okay, let me find out here about how much was he making.
You work at FedEx. Roughly.
Wait a minute, 2 years ago. Wait a minute, 2 years ago. I'm talking about 2 years ago.
2 years ago. He works at FedEx, and so he's roughly bringing about $50 a year.
Okay, so 2 years ago he wasn't working in the oil fields anymore.
No.
So he was working for FedEx. What was he doing for FedEx? Was he driving, or was he working actually at the warehouse?
Driving.
Okay. Did he have his own vehicle, or he drove for somebody else?
He drove for someone else.
Okay, so he must have been working his ass off to get that. He must have been working his ass off. And you still wasn't happy. Damn.
No, it's not that. I mean,
Yes, it is. You just admitted
I mean-
it. You just admitted it. Stand on it. Just stand by it. Stop it. This man is working his ass off. He going from the oil fields to FedEx, and she still ain't happy. Damn.
Well, I mean, well, because it was basically cheating. He opened the gate for cheating, and even though
How did he open the gate for cheating?
He was cheating throughout the marriage.
How do you
And
know?
it
How
was
do you
like
know?
I-
How do you know? Because you just now saying that. You didn't say it before. Now you said that you cheated before. Now you're talking about, oh, well, he opened the door. Really?
No. What I said was I was faithful for 12 years straight.
Okay,
That's what
now
I
you're
said.
talking about he was cheating. So now you're trying to add extras.
No, and what I'm saying is that throughout the years, what drove me to that is he was cheating, and he was also, not making the money that he's, have.
Okay, there you go.
Used to.
Wait. How long were you all married?
We've been married 11 years.
How long after you got married was he allegedly cheating?
To be honest, I believe within maybe the first year.
And you stayed with him for the next decade?
I sure did.
Okay,
That's
so
true.
obviously his cheating didn't bother you that much. No offense. That wasn't what broke the camel's back.
Well, he actually did.
Clearly it didn't.
Well, the reason why I did that time is because actually in the oil field prior, he admitted to me that he was having a relationship with a woman. Again, after I had asked him several times,
How much was he making in the oil fields?
Maybe I would say $4,000 a month.
Okay.
Sometimes maybe 6. It depends on if they did overtime, and things like that. And if he stayed like his extra weeks of not coming home, then he could make up to like 6 a month.
Okay. So now she's saying, oh, he was cheating the whole time. So, okay. We can never catch a break with y'all. We really can't. We can't catch a break. All right. So, but back to your original story, which was the truth. So his money wasn't right. He ends up, a woman who does procurement for Raytheon can't see herself dating a FedEx driver. Is that basically it?
Yes, of course I could see myself. It was just that it was just basically really the cheating. So what I probably did and thought of is like, okay, I'm tired of this shit. Being the bigger person. I'm gonna go out and find somebody that won't me.
Okay, but back up. If his money hadn't dropped off, would it have been a problem? Okay, let's try this a different way. If he was making 3 times as much money,
it still would have been a problem.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, I would hate to see that there, because tonight's subject is about if his money getting low made you cheat. So first you said it did, then you say, well, actually it didn't.
His money was low. It did get low. He actually went into where he was not assertive anymore. Like that was just one of the reasons.
Well, my thing though is it the primary reason? Because if it's not the primary reason, then we're talking about something different.
Yes, it is the primary reason.
Okay, thank you. All right, I just wanted to make sure. So the real thing is the rest of it was tolerable until you were like, I work for Raytheon. I can't let a FedEx driver cheat on me. In retrospect, when you say it like that, it's like, oh, it makes more sense.
Yeah,
I
guess you can say
I do procurement for Raytheon. How am I going to let a FedEx driver cheat on me? How can I let him do that? A vice president of Raytheon? Okay. But not you, nigga. I can do your job on the truck. I can't let you get away with that.
And I mean, even so, before FedEx, he worked at Amazon. You know, so
fellas,
again,
what have I taught you? It is not uncertainty that makes a woman lose faith. It is not uncertainty that will make a woman do scandalous things. It is certainty. Yep. If she becomes sure that things aren't going to get any better, if she becomes certain to her satisfaction that you're not going to be able to do any better than you're doing, she's going to start looking for the exits.
That's true.
Fellas, automatic overdraft is failure. And remember, under withdrawals, what's the number one thing? Mediocre results. This guy went to work every day for your ass, by the way. Hard working. You know how many females in Dallas would love to have a man who was just going to work, period? This man was going to work every day. Every day.
So
stayed with a stayed with a job, and it still wasn't good enough.
So I just needed to tolerate the cheating, let him cheat in peace, huh?
First of all, you was all right with it for the first 10 years. But what he needed to do was, my point was, fellas, if you want to do that, you can't be a FedEx driver trying to have side hoes. That's not going to work, okay? Fellas, it's not going to work. I don't care how long you've been married. You can't be a FedEx driver and do that. Mm-hmm. She was all right until she realized it's been 10 years and this nigga's income ain't doubled yet. Let me ask you something. When you all got married, what did you do for a living?
I was in banking.
Okay.
I worked for Chase Bank.
Okay. About how much did you make then?
I think back then in 2009, maybe like $14 an hour.
How much you making now?
27.
Okay. So did y'all see how that worked right there? I want y'all to pay attention. Women keep track of the math. I want you all to pay attention to what just happened there. I called it. I wanted to call it before she said it because I understand what I'm looking at. I understand what I'm looking at. Over a decade, her income doubled. She looking at him and like, okay, I can at least do that. What about you? So basically you went from about $29,000, $30,000 a year to about what, 55, 58?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So over a decade, understand, fellas, a woman doesn't expect to have to outperform you. So that's why she doesn't have to make $100,000. A woman doesn't expect to have to outperform you. And she keeps track the whole time. She doesn't tell you that she's keeping track, but fellas, she's keeping track. She's keeping track the entire time. Those are the rules of engagement. Those are the rules of engagement. That's just as simple as it is right there. I can't make it any more plain for people. I can't make it any more plain. That really is what it is. So now, are you still married?
We're separated.
You're still married?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. What's holding up the divorce, ma'am? You make more money than him. What's holding up the divorce?
What's holding up the divorce is actually he don't want to really.
Try with that with somebody else.
And actually my kids is having our children is kind of having a tough time dealing with the separation.
How old are they?
Actually, I want to. I'm trying to do it.
No. How old are the kids?
My daughter is 13. My son is 17.
Okay. And do they know you've been creeping?
I actually let them know, that I had someone. I'm being honest, yes.
Okay. Messy, messy, messy. All right.
And yeah.
Wait
I mean,
a minute. Wait.
Hmm?
How long you been separated from your husband again?
9 months.
Okay. When's the last time you slept with him?
Labor Day.
Gone.
I said Labor Day,
I heard you the first time. Gone.
and that's it. That was the last time.
All right.
Yeah, that's the last.
Are you seeing anybody else right now?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, really?
Hmm.
How long you been seeing this fella?
It's been the same person.
Oh,
it's just been on and off.
so let me get this straight. You're separated from your husband with this dude you've been cheating on him with, and you bouncing back and forth between the two of them. No wonder the damn STD rate is out of control.
No, I hadn't been bouncing back and forth.
Baby, it is. Women always say, "Oh, we ain't bouncing back and forth." That's just what you just described was bouncing back and forth.
For one, I cut the side dude off, and the reason why I hadn't slept with my husband in like 8 months, and when he decided to, we were thinking about getting back together. I had cut the dude off for my husband and tried to just at least try to make it work. But unfortunately, Mr. Black, it didn't play out that way.
Fellas,
So,
y'all know the deal. When a woman has a man with a kid with a man, that's the dude she wants. So women always end back up in bed with the dude they had kids with. Always. ALL stain lifter.
That's true.
They always end up back in bed with them.
Wanted to be clear, no back and forth. Just wanted to see if it could work. So.
She wanted to see what could work. You was already separated from him. You wanted to see what could work.
Well, the last shot of just having our family back.
Oh,
together.
come on now. Why don't you just be honest? All y'all females tonight, the other thing y'all don't want to be honest about is, why don't y'all cheated because y'all wanted some excitement on top of everything else. Just say it like it is. Your sex life was boring. It wasn't popping for you. You've been sleeping with the same nigga for 10 years. You got tired of that. You wanted something different. He was seeing somebody else, so it's like, okay, why don't I go ahead and get mine on, get my dip on, and just admit you in your 30s and you just like, hey, I'm exploring this whole phase for a minute.
Well, I wouldn't say whole phase. I just hope that basically when this ends, the dude that I'm dealing with, that he will marry me. So, I mean, that would only make sense to me.
How you?
Not hoeing around. Yeah, I want him to actually marry me.
Girl, you had me up. You got me up in here. You got me up in here hitting high notes. How in the hell? How the hell you think somebody gonna marry you? Oh, I gotta tell the damn. How the hell you think a fella gonna marry you?
Because for the simple fact of my track record of being faithful for 12 years and tolerating.
Well, but you have a track record of being unfaithful. What the hell are you talking about? You have a track record, all right. You got a track record of being unfaithful. So you're just gonna say, well, just count these years, but don't count these over here. And then the fella you with right now, he knows he the side nigga.
Yeah, that's true.
So why would your side nigga make you the wife if he knows you keep side niggas on lock? Why would he do that?
Because he's the first one. So to keep, so basically to possess me, all you need to do is just marry me and just look at the fact that me marrying young. Just re-give it a try of what, I mean, basically of what we were doing. Just give me grace. What's wrong with giving me grace? I mean, it's only been him.
We're giving you grapes.
What would be wrong with giving me grace? One marriage failed, and this one could potentially work
Okay, but
because
he
now I know
knows.
what I want.
Now you know what you want now.
I'm young. That's why I'm just saying. So now that I have experience, now I know what I actually want. So
Now you know what you
and what
actually
I
want.
need and what I need.
Now you know.
Yes.
And what do you think? What do you know you want now?
I need a man that actually just where he's able to provide for me and I can assist with him and we can build things together. Or, he lead and I follow. I have no problem with that.
He can
But
provide what for you?
just a home, just taking care of me, and accepting my kids and
Accepting your kids. Women are real good about that, boy. They have no problem running up on a man talking about with 3-4 kids in tow, and it's like, okay.
and we can go from there,
All right. Go where?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'm the one who just don't get it. Where we going?
We're gonna go like-minded people. We're gonna try to reach the stars.
Okay.
Now that I know, I was young, so I mean, not to keep using it as an excuse, but I didn't give myself time to date around. I just married my kid's father and thought that was the right thing to do, and I'm not mad about it that it didn't. It just, unfortunately, it just played out that way. And I just want someone to give me grace one more time. And I promise you,
one more time,
like the first one.
Give me grace one more time.
Yes.
Y'all, these females are a trip. Are they not? Are they not? Well, ma'am. By the way, the fella you was dipping with, you still running around with, did you meet him at work or where'd you meet him at?
I actually met him at happy hour.
Happy hour?
Mm-hmm.
Clearly it was.
Yes.
Clearly it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is he younger or older than you?
Yes, he's older than me.
Wow, how much older?
He's 44.
Okay. Does he have any kids?
Yes, plenty.
Well, plenty.
5. They are grown though.
Okay, and you think you gonna get married?
That's a question that I always ask him.
Really?
As far as like why you didn't marry your kid's mother. And he said, well, I did all that when I was younger. But I can't marry you if you married. So there's my key right there.
She is a trip, y'all. She is a trip.
So maybe I'm something different that he never experienced before.
Okay. It sounds like he done experienced it plenty of times.
Hey, he just tells me all the time, hey, you married, I'm single. So I can't step up until you get out your situation.
You really believe that?
Oh, and if I'm not married, if the situation is not going to marry, it's going to end. I let him know that.
Okay.
I won't be stringed along like what you did to your kid's mother. That's not going to happen. I value being a wife. I can't be be a girlfriend for years and years. You can't play with me like that.
Okay. Let me make sure one more time here. You said you value being a wife. Are you serious? Are you serious? You value being a wife, ma'am?
Yes, because despite of what I've done in the end, I kind of knew that it was going to play out that way. But despite of the end, I value marriage. I mean, there's nothing beneficial about being a girlfriend. And I tolerated this man for many years. Even my friends said, dang, we would have been cheated. So, I mean,
Okay, so
I
they didn't say
tried.
they didn't say we would have left. They said we would have cheated.
Well, I can't hold on to a man that's no longer here and don't want to be here. I mean, what am I supposed to do now at this point? I tried. I cut the dude off for him. So what else could I need to do?
Okay, but my point is this goes to values. So you didn't say that. Nobody said that they would have left. They said they would have cheated. What the hell kind of friends you got?
Some that maybe that I don't have no business maybe hanging around.
They didn't tell her.
Well,
They didn't tell her to do right. They told her I would have cheated too. Really? Now, by the
well,
way,
yeah, they
I
said they would have been
Okay.
cheated and got even. Basically, there's.
I hope y'all understand that if you have friends who talk about they would, if they were you, they would have cheated. What makes you think those friends wouldn't cheat on your husband with you? You cheat on you with your husband.
You know what? I wouldn't put it. You're absolutely right. That's true. That's just one friend that actually said that, and that's one of my closest friends. And you're right. I don't put anything past a woman. So,
Especially you. Oh, especially. Oh, goodness, especially you. Well,
especially me.
fellas, what does this show you? I mean, she can work for a defense contractor. She can be a doctor, lawyer, Indian chief. If she gets an opportunity and she feel like she can do it and get away with it. The moral of this story, and the reason why I bring up the matrix I made, and I'm probably going to get into this at a later time, but fellas, this matrix lets you know when a woman is no longer afraid. If she's got maximum desire, that means she feels like you got the leverage. But if she feels like she got the leverage, here it comes. Here it comes. We got chicks on here, they younger, they older. If she doesn't feel like she's getting enough benefits or rewards being around you, that's it. How many females been on here tonight talking about, I knew this fella since I was in high school? Bunch of young fellas listen to me right now. You think because you've known her since sophomore year, you better pay attention to what she was doing behind the gym. It's going to come back to bite you.
I was chasing him.
Yeah, you was chasing him, all right. Yeah, that's till she got tired.
Chasing him for a long time.
Okay. The real thing is, fellas, if you want to live that life, and I'm not making a value judgment, if you want to live that life, you got to bring the benefits. Because she trying to play coy. Bottom line, if his paper was heavier, she would have stuck with him. But the paper wasn't heavy enough for her to feel like doing it. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, things with your side dude, that ain't going to work.
Okay.
That's not going to work.
So I need to just stick it to, I just need to try to mend it with my husband.
I'm just going to tell you right now, how you get him is how you lose him.
That's true.
You cheated to get this guy. You know full damn well you're going to leave your husband. Old boy going to be like, all right, what your options is? What you going to do? A fella doesn't become the side nigga because he wants to become your husband.
Oh, really?
That's silly talk. You might want to believe your sex is so good, but baby, especially he got 5 kids already, you just gonna become number 6.
No, my tube's tied.
Okay, then you gonna spend your whole damn time here letting him shoot blanks. But you know, baby, you ain't got no future, and you know that.
So you said my best option is to stay with what I know,
dear. I mean,
that I know,
baby. That's what you vested right there. I mean, I'm not gonna say you gotta stay with him, but I am gonna say Mr. Side Dude, that's not going anywhere. That's not going anywhere. And you should know that. Baby, he already knows the deal. Plus, he's older than you. You're not, if this one of them young boys who was new to sex, y'all sit up here and keep acting like everybody you deal with is young and naive. And that you're the smartest, wisest, slickest, most cunning people in the room. Y'all women need to quit that. These fellas, how they met you, that's how they want it to be. And then how are you going to raise the price? You've already given him everything he wants. Where's your leverage to raise the price? He's already hitting them draws with no ring behind your damn husband's back. And one more question. How much money does Mr. Side Dude make?
He's a manager, so about $80K.
Okay, he makes a little bit more than you.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your leverage to get him to make more money? Where's your leverage to get him to do more? Where is it?
For him to do. My leverage is basically not as having much baggage as what he's used to.
Okay. Baby, he can go get him a little old 22-year-old thing who's young and stupid and be thrilled out her ass to have a fella making $80,000 a year. You already know that. You already know that. You already know that.
So
the bottom line is you're too
Should
easily replaced at this
out?
point.
He's not actually single and just waiting on me. He has someone as well.
Okay. Well, why would he change it now? I'm saying, how you going to raise the price? You want to limit his options by making you his only option. He's already letting you know his life that he lives by choice is having what he wants when he wants with whoever he wants. And you're going to get him to abandon all these other options? How's they going to do that? Where they do that at? How are you going to do that?
And the reason why he's going to do that for me is because the simple fact that I'm something that he haven't never dealt with. That's why.
He's already dealing with you. What are you talking about?
With me because the situation, I'm not out of it yet, and I understand that. But
Baby,
I plan to move in that house.
Okay, and you know what? The other chick he dealing with, she thinking the same dumbass thing. The both of y'all are lined up at the door, expecting him to choose either one of you. He's already getting both of you. Why?
That's true. That's true.
We're missing some critical thinking skills here is what we're missing here. He's already laying up with both of you. Now. And by the way, there's probably a third one y'all don't know about. He's already laying up with 2 or 3 of y'all, and one of y'all is dumb enough to think that at 35, with all them stretch marks and other issues y'all bring, that somehow you're valuable enough to get him to give up his options. This is a fella who's run through a bunch of females. It would be easier for him to dump the both of you old maids and go get him a young hood rat who only got 1 kid and is in her 20s. He's already been jumping from one bed to another, and you think something in your bed is magical enough to get him to stay put? Fellas, I want y'all to understand that when these women get older in their 30s, boy, it don't change. They get older and they still think to themselves that they have the same potency they had in their 20s. With this guy clearly showing you the both of y'all are jockeying for position, and at the end of the day, he's not going to take either of you.
Okay.
He's already getting the benefits. Why on earth would he let you mark up the price?
The reason why is because we actually been getting money together, as meaning our money started to get tied in together. We've been investing in each other. So
investing in each other how?
What we were doing, we opened like a mutual fund account together. And he put his share and I put my share.
Okay.
And we've been on trips.
Okay, but that's a benefit to him. Why would he not do that? That's a benefit to him. Why wouldn't he do that?
He didn't need me to do that either.
Oh, yeah, but if you're going to put money into it, that's more than he would put himself. So why wouldn't he get you to match the funds? That's like having an employer.
I just put less, but he put more.
Okay, but you putting some in it, so I'm just saying.
Mhm. We've been on. I think because we've been on. We're doing everything as
Everybody take their hoes on trips, baby. That's why he got you for, so he doesn't have to meet nobody when he gets there. Everybody does that. What the guy say on The Office? Try harder. Try again.
Well, what I'm trying to say is.
What I'm trying to say is, fellas, do y'all see how low the damn bar is? If you take the broad on a trip to Vegas, that's gonna buy her off. That's gonna buy her silence for the next 5 damn years.
Look, he took off of work and he was been MIA with the main one.
This nigga has a side chick. She knows about the side chick. As I've been telling y'all all night, he got the 80 G's, but he feeds the troops. He got the 80 G's, but he feeds the troops. So when he take her on a trip, he take her to a restaurant, and she, at the end of the day, she's letting him keep his side chick, and the trip to Vegas is a IOU. Why would a man not do that? The rest of y'all can't keep the girl you got. He's got 3 of them, and they're taking an IOU. All he had to do was take him to Vegas, spend $500 here or there once a year, and that's it. He's got compliance. They, as I've told you all for years, and they know about each other. She's getting the level of compensation that satisfies her. Now, also remember what I told you all, women are deceptive in that way, because a woman, when she sleeps with a man, she believes that simply by virtue of her opening her legs, as long as she's been doing it, that you owe her marriage. She thinks that sex is a down payment on a marriage. Now, she just said it. Well, as long as we've been sleeping together here, he gonna have to do it. When very clearly he's not moving in that direction. So why wouldn't he? He was going on vacation anyway. So you just there to serve needs when he get there. He was going anyway. If you said no, he was gonna take the other chick. If she said no, he was gonna get on Facebook and grab somebody. So one way or the other, he was going with somebody. And fellas, all it took was that, and that's it. The bottom line is, the upshot is, she's letting him keep his side chick. Well, actually, she the side chick, but
we both are.
Okay, y'all are letting him ping pong to it. Y'all letting him juggle that ass without complaint. Fellas, I'm not telling you what I think. And by the way, he don't even make $100,000 a year, which is why I was trying to tell you, your high-value posers don't know what they're talking about. They trying to lift the game from me, and they're messing it up. If you want rock-solid proof, I'm bringing you proof. Dude don't have to make $100,000, much less 120, is what I always told y'all. You make it. Take a look at the chart up there. I'm not lying. The chart has been sitting up here since before she got on the phone. It's everything I've been telling you all forever. And oh yeah, by the way, my metrics don't change. You don't look at me one week and something I told you last week is migrated to something different. Up there, the top 20%, if you are making $70,000 a year or more, you're in the top 20%. The top 8% is 100,000 or more, and from 70,000 up is the top 20%. This guy ain't in the top 5%. Damn sure in the top 1%. He's in the top 20. And he is desired, but he is not easily replaced. Because Miss Raytheon is like, where the hell am I finding another nigga in Dallas who's available at my age making 80 G's? Now, if she does, y'all, she's going to run out here so fast, you're going to hear that meet like the Roadrunner. But this dude making 80, as I told y'all, that's the leverage zone. This chart is reliable. I'm not guessing my way through this. I'm not making it up as I go along, and I'm not going to change what I say next week because somebody figured out it wasn't right. This is the real world. My 4+ decades of experience have codified this. And I'm letting the men and the women know what to expect. Old boy is in the zone of the leverage. And he's leveraging, he's old enough to know how to leverage it. And it works. It works. He's getting both cows and ain't got to buy nothing. Why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? So, you let me know how that marriage thing turns out. When you finally decide you're going to flex on him and make him marry you, let me know how that turns out.
Okay.
I'll be interested in knowing. I'm serious. Email me back and let me know, Jason, you said I couldn't do it. They said I wouldn't make it, but I was able to get him to do it. He dropped
call him now.
He dropped his other chick. He don't care about my kids, and we are married. Not we're engaged. We're married.
Yeah.
I want you to call back so you can let everybody know that my information ain't reliable.
Okay.
I'm serious.
Okay, I will.
Well, do you have any last words of advice that you would like to give the ladies and gentlemen out there?
No, I mean, just, ladies, well, I would say men be careful first, and ladies also too, and don't just marry for love. Make sure you marry for more than love.
There you go. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight.
Thank you.
Folks, I've been telling you forever, you don't have to like it. You don't have to agree with it. It's reality. It's reality. And yes, as you've seen, it's totally reliable. Do you see how many phone calls I was able to get tonight? By the way, we could keep going. I'm not going to take any more other ones like that, but we could keep going. Now, let me see here. Caller from area code 619. Is this Dottie?
Yes, it is.
Okay, speak up some. Your volume is kind of janky.
Okay, can you hear me better?
Yeah, okay, Dottie. Now, what were you going to educate me about?
No, I wasn't educating. I was just making a statement, and I was just saying that it's okay for men to make money and cheat. And I was just making a statement that that's not ethical.
You say it's not ethical.
Correct.
Okay, define ethics.
Well, it's the difference between right and wrong, and something that's good, in terms of behavior and how you treat people, how you go about your way of life and make decisions. So, I just don't think it's ethical. I agree. I understand what you're saying, but, I just, for me, that's just not going to fly.
Okay. Do you believe that men and women are the same?
No.
Do you believe that men and women want the same thing?
I believe they want the same things, but the way we look at the same thing may not be the same.
Okay, what are the same things? Do you think the man wants the same thing from a woman that the woman wants from a man?
No.
Exactly. So do you see why automatically that's going to be different now?
Yes, but it still doesn't make it ethical.
Okay. Explain to me exactly what is unethical about it.
Well, cheating, you want someone cheating on you? How does, that's unethical for you to cheat on someone.
Okay. Well, certainly...
When we look at relationships...
I'm not going to endorse cheating per se. I'm not going to endorse that. However, is it cheating if she knows?
No, it's not. Yeah. So, being in that situation, if I don't know, then it's okay. I don't go sniffing out cheating, but once I find out you cheat, it's kind of a done deal for me.
Okay. Why don't you go sniffing out cheating?
I just don't, because I feel like I'm in a relationship with someone, and we're two grown ups, and so or maybe when I look at relationships, because I don't jump into a relationship really quickly, I believe in long term and waiting it out, so I'm pretty slow at going into relationships. So by that time, I pretty much vetted that person, so I don't go looking for cheating. But if I find out they cheated, and I have before, then it's just over for me. I don't care how much money you have.
Okay. How old are you, Dottie?
I'm 52.
Okay. Thank you for that candid admission about your age. At 52, honest question, how much leverage do you feel you have to insist on a man not testing his options at 52?
Well, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked that, because at 52, I'm not really trying to get into a relationship, and I'm not concerned about my leverage.
Okay, all right. I just wanted to make sure about that there. Okay.
Okay.
That makes a little more sense now, doesn't it? Now, what about the women?
I don't know.
What about the women out there who are listening who do want to get in a relationship? What about them?
Well, I guess to each his own. I was just, making a comment regardless.
Right.
I mean,
but the majority
if you say
of women,
the woman knows,
the majority of women do want to be in a relationship.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The majority of women do want to be in a relationship, though.
Okay. Well, good. And I don't mean it flippant, but I guess for me, I'm just not running around trying to get into a relationship. I've had great ones. If one comes along, that's fine.
Right, but now you're saying you do want to get in a relationship.
No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if I come across someone in my day to day and we end up having a good conversation and it ends up in a relationship, possibly, but I'm not going out hoping and pining and looking for a relationship. Maybe I should say it that way.
Okay. Well, for the ones who are, what are the rules that they have to play by?
Well, I guess what you're saying, you're saying a lot of great things. I just made a comment that I just, regardless of what the situation is.
I mean, Dottie, here's the thing, okay? You do understand.
Okay.
You do understand at the end of the day, you are old enough to understand it, especially at your age. Baby, are you going to sit up here and tell me that if you're with a guy who's making $500,000 a year, that you are going to give him up because he's got a side chick? Are you seriously going to say that at 52? At 52?
Yeah, I know.
At 52?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're really going to say that? So you have a man who makes $500,000 a year. You're going to get up and walk after, let's just say you've been married to him for 10 years, and you're just going to get up and say, you know what, screw this, she can have him.
Okay.
Are you seriously telling me
really
that you're going to say that?
Well, I'm getting ready to answer your question. I really can't say that in terms of marriage, because I've been in long-term relationships or engagements, and I have walked out because of that.
But did you walk out on somebody? But did you walk out on somebody making $500,000? Did you walk out on somebody making mid and high six figures? Did you walk out on that? Or did you walk out on a? Wait a minute.
Yes.
Okay.
When you said $500,000, I've dated some wealthy men.
Okay, no, you slept with some. You slept with some
were in
dudes.
$500,000.
Okay,
yes.
thank you. The fellas that cheated on you, what were they? How old were they?
Yeah, they were making. No.
I said how much. No. I said how old. I said how old were they?
How old were they?
Yeah.
I don't know. They were in the same age. I mean, I've dated some that were younger.
Ma'am,
but those weren't the ones that cheated on me.
Okay,
the ones that were my age.
You
said
said that you had ones who cheated on you. Okay, the ones who were your age. How old is that?
like 50, well, now 50, I'm 52, 54.
Okay, how do you end up getting cheated on at 54?
Well, no, I'm saying I'm not with that person at right now. They're 54.
Okay.
I was a lot younger.
Yes, ma'am. I asked how old. I said, how old were they, Dottie? You're being evasive. How old was he when this occurred?
Oh, okay. I would say, wow, 30, 36, probably 38.
Okay. And what was he doing for a living at 38? Not today, at 38.
He worked into telecommunications.
Okay. He wasn't making no $90,000 a year then. Because if he were, then
yes, he was.
If he were, you'd know exactly what he was doing to make $90,000. Please remember, I worked in telecommunications.
He was
So what was his job,
yes, he
ma'am?
worked for Avaya Communications, and he made anywhere because
what did he do?
He
what did he
worked
do
hourly
for them?
instead,
What did he do for them, ma'am?
Engineering, I don't know.
Ma'am, if you don't stop, if you don't quit, if you just don't quit, if you don't just quit, Dottie, just stop. Just stop. You're talking to somebody who worked for the 3 largest telecommunications companies on the planet. Just stop. The folks who made $90,000 a year, we could count them on one hand. Just stop. Just quit. In any case, that was the reason why you wouldn't tolerate it. A fella making $60,000 a year, yeah, he can't get it. A fella making $90,000, it's iffy. A fella making $150, you wasn't gonna say nothing. And you wouldn't say it today. If you had a fella taking care of you and was making $150,000, $200,000, you ain't gonna say nothing. There's no way in the hell you're gonna sit up here and say, well, he got another chick. Lady, you can have him. I don't want him. Here, you take him and his $200,000. Take the both of them. I don't want them. There's no way you're saying that. You're not saying that. The only people you got and walked away from were working class dudes making a working class salary below median or median salary. That's what you walked away from. And as my chart says, they're desired, but he's easily replaced. He's easily replaced. And that's why you left. The guys who make that higher peak performance, they can't be replaced. They're not easily replaced. So yeah, you gonna sit. They talk like this in public, but you're not. There's no way in the hell you're gonna be with a guy making $200,000 a year and then just throw him to another chick and tell her, "Here you go, you can have him." All that stuff he's doing for me, he was splitting his money between the two of us. Now you can have 100% of it. I was getting 50, 60, 70% of it, and you was getting 20, but now you can have the 100. And I'll take 0. That's not happening. That's not happening. You're not going to do that. You're not that silly. And most women are not that silly. Because at the end of the day, you want a producer. And as long as you're getting, women focus on themselves. As long as you're getting what you want out of the relationship, you're okay. You see, the reason why a guy making $50,000 a year can't cheat or can't have a side chick is because you're afraid that he's going to leave you. The lower a fella's income is, the more likely he is to leave. Why? He ain't got much to lose. So, of course, you're worried. Now, if he making $200,000 a year, oh, he got something to lose. You know he's not going nowhere. He's not leaving you. If he wanted to leave you, he would have got up and left. He didn't do that. That's the way it works. The real problem we have is a bunch of dudes out here making the same amount of money as you. And the problem with that is, Dottie, when a man makes the same amount of money as you, you feel like he's your peer. So he can't be in a leadership position because he's not your financial leader. And if a man is not your financial leader, you also don't feel like he's your social leader. So when a man appears to be your peer, you ain't gonna let him pull no mess with you. You're like, nigga, you the same as me. We're the same. How dare you drive the FedEx van and like you winning in life and gonna get a side broad. Now, if he was making 4 times your income, you're driving a Toyota Camry and he's driving a BMW 8 Series, oh, that's not your peer. Now it's like, sir, do you got to have a side chick? Why? What am I doing wrong? What can I do better? Yeah, he's not your peer. You don't have that level of disdain. You understand that this is the leader. So you're going to approach him different. But a fellow working at damn me Five Guys, nigga, you can't do nothing wrong. Because she sees you as her peer. She's like, nigga, I make as much or maybe more than you. Yeah, no wonder. No wonder. Understand, guys, it's not about money, though. Money is simply how we keep score. Money is just how we keep score. Money is a hard thing. I'm explaining that here in just a moment. Dottie, I'm going to let you have the last word.
Okay. Well, my last word would be, it appears as though you know so much more about the person than they know about themselves. And when I was attempting to try to explain to you that I have dated someone and that he did work in the industry and he did make that much money, you still told me that I was not telling the truth. So, so there's really just a one-sided conversation here because it's what you say and not my truth. So,
ma'am, in order for him to make $90,000 a year, but he did.
Ma'am,
he literally, okay, if that man had been a fiber optic technician, you would have, a fiber optic engineer, not even a fiber optic technician. If he had been a fiber engineer, because remember, these are union shops, ma'am. You don't know that. These are union shops. So the income that you make is dictated by the job. But you don't know that because you never worked there. And literally everybody who works for Verizon, AT&T, all my communication workers of America people, they all know that, by the way, the job, what you get paid is dictated by the shop you work in. It doesn't matter what your qualifications are. You can't get more than the union has negotiated for your job. So if he was a fiber engineer, you would have known. And you would be saying he was a fiber engineer. All you can say is, he was a engineer.
But here's the thing. Let me just say this, and not to interrupt you, but I really don't focus on it. Like you said, as a woman, I'm really not concerned about their occupation just as long as I'm kind of taken care of. So I'll just tell you this. And then, but I hear what you're saying. I'll tell you this. He decided that he did not want to take a management position because he wanted to stay hourly, because that overtime would put him anywhere in the 80 to 100K category.
Okay.
So you understand,
So the way that works,
via communication.
Now, first of all, the only way that would work. So this is a guy who's making $50,000 a year.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. How you gonna try to tell
No.
me what they make? This was a guy who was making 50.
Right.
If he was, for him to make 90 for overtime, he would have been having to make 50, no more than 60.
I saw the pay stubs.
Okay, then you would have seen what his job.
I saw the pay stub.
Then you would have seen what his job position was too while you were looking at the pay stub.
It was a while ago. I don't really care. Like you said, at the end of the day, the woman wants to be taken care of.
And clearly, what he was making was not enough. He wasn't making nowhere near enough. That's the only reason you were able to do that. Now, if he had been making,
and one more thing, so you're saying if I dated a man that made $500,000, I would let him cheat on me? That's what you're saying?
No, I'm saying
right?
if you dated a guy who made $500,000, you would be more concerned about you and solidifying your position.
Okay.
But you are not gonna sit up here and this man that you've been with, and you done tolerated all this mess with, and you just gonna hand him off to another female? No, you're not. You're not gonna do that. You're not going to take this man that you're getting 80% of his resources, everything is what you want, and then you're going to just hand him to another woman? Because that's what you have to do. You have to hand him off to another woman and say, here, take this nigga. You get 100% of his resources. I was getting 80%, but here, you were getting 20, I was getting 80, but here, you take 100. I'm out. You're not going to do that. You're not. You won't. I'm just saying, just be honest with the audience so all of them can be clear about this, because the problem is they're going to actually get in that situation and see how $200,000 a year changes your damn life. Making $200,000 a year for most of y'all is going to change your freaking life. And she's going to tell you, you're going to get them walk away from that. So you can go back to your $40,000 a year job. I got my integrity. All right. Go ahead and tell him that. Go ahead and tell him that's what you do. Meanwhile, y'all, she is sharpening her Bowie knife. Let her get near your man, making that kind of money, she gonna slit all y'all throats. Thank you very much for calling in, Dottie.
Thank you.
Please, people, come on now. Let's be clear about something. Money is how we keep score. Money is how we track the scoreboard. Money is a concrete thing that can't be argued with. You either got it or you don't. You either got it or you don't. When a woman sees you actually got it, then a woman is always walking around with dreams in her head and expectations. Women stay wishing for things. They stay wishing for handbags, shoes, nails, but more than anything else. Understand this next part. More than anything else, a woman desires the status that having a man of accomplishment claiming her brings. When you got a man making over 150, 200,000 a year, you got status. And getting him to claim you while these other chicks are wishing they could get half that much and he claims you, that gives you status. The other chicks wish they had a man making $200,000 a year who was cheating on them. The rest of them are working with the guy, are dating the guy who works at Dunkin' Damn Me Donuts. Let's get serious. I'm not talking about what you wish for. I'm talking about in the real world. In the real world, she already dealing with a dude. This nigga works the forklift at Home Depot. And that's what's real. She can fantasize all she wants to. What is real is this nigga works the forklift. So she got to live with that. What's real is she walks through the mall and they got a Giuseppe store and a Chanel store, and all she can do is walk by and look. What's real is when she goes into Victoria's Secret and she got to walk up to the front counter by herself and swipe that thing. With the rest of the single women. 7 out of 10 of these women out here are single today. And she's walking into the place, you're walking in to go buy some sexy underwear and you ain't got a man. Or you got a fella who doesn't make you sexually aroused anymore because you feel like you leading in the relationship. You feel like the man. You're not able to come into your femininity. Having a producer takes that load and that burden off of you. That's what it does. Nigga, if you don't get out of my chat room talking about not all of them are, put this nigga in timeout. He thinks he's gonna kiss Dottie's ass. You don't have to kiss her ass and make up stuff to get in. Nigga, she waiting. Always some jackass. You don't make $30,000 a year gonna try to educate us. Sit down in the child section. There's a reason why you're on my channel and I would never go to yours. Fellas, you got to understand, you have to be able to call bluffs. Oh, this is hard. It's hard to do. Oh, why am I doing this? Because you need to know. When you stack the money on the table, you're calling her bluff. You're calling her bluff. The thing I want you to understand is be in a position to do that. I don't discuss relationships. I don't give a damn about dating. I'm discussing power dynamics. And if you want to understand how power dynamics work, throw the money on the table and then see if she walks away. You're not going to sit up here and tell me that hypergamy is real and hypergamy is actual and then tell me it don't work. This chart up here, and by the way, I'll be posting this on the business on YouTube. I'll be posting this chart so that you all can understand this. This is the way it works. Even if you are able to ignite her desirability, if you are in a lower producing area, just understand what your odds are. And every woman who called in tonight validated what I said. Every single one. The reason that it works is because it's real. So we have money because money is how we keep score. Money is how we know what's real and what ain't. You see, a woman might hope you know what you're talking about, but if she takes a look at your bank account, there's the proof. So fellas, understand what the real power of it is. Money means the same thing to a woman that it means to a man in a business proposition. You get a whole bunch of people who want your time and your attention. If you want to invest. But you take people, a whole bunch of people are going to come up to you offering all kinds of ideas. But when somebody comes up offering money and says, hey, look, I got cash money in hand, just understand everybody gets quiet. Everybody gets quiet when that guy shows up. When you throw the money on the table, everybody gets quiet because they understand if you ain't got dollars, there's nothing more to talk about. Women operate the exact same way. When you throw concrete proof in front of her, she's got to make a real world decision. Well, I've got the power to get up and walk. Yeah, you got the power to do it. But do you really want to get up and walk away? Because while everybody else is dreaming about it, this is your opportunity to have it. So it's real easy for a chick who been dating a bunch of dudes working entry-level jobs to talk about what she won't tolerate, what she won't take. I'm not telling you what I think, I'm telling you what I know. And no, you don't have to be filthy rich. You don't need to make six figures, but if you do, you're solid. Once you move in that six-figure zone, you're solid. All my six-figure dudes know it. At the end of the day, she's going to be looking to see if you're leading. Money is how you show the proof. Money has a primal effect on people. Do you understand that? Money has a primal effect on people. It generates a primal reaction. When you throw the money down, you're showing people that I'm not just talking, I know what I'm talking about. Money speaks in a way that your words never can. It's not about capitalism, it's about productivity. You just live in America. productivity has always ruled nations. The man who is most able to produce. For those of you who got my program on the my Patreon, you remember what was that, Two Fish Tony? If you're on a desert island with your tribe and your woman is with you and all you can catch is 2 fish, she may or may not stay with you. But the fella who can catch 8 fish, he got side hoes on the island because he can feed himself, feed his woman, and 3 or 4 others. The other chicks just know I ain't gonna be starving if I'm with him. I'm laying up with you and I may or may not eat today. But if I get with 8 fish Larry, I ain't never gonna be starving. Being a producer. Money is just the framework through which we discuss this. It is about, are you a producer? As long as you can produce, that's going to have a primal effect on people. For those of you who've seen that television show, Survivor, y'all know how it is. Every time on Survivor, when they got somebody on the desert island, the first one who knew how to kill a pig or kill a boar and heat that damn thing up, he was the king of the island, remember? That's the way it always was. If you were that one guy who knew how to fish, that one guy who knew how to kill a boar, that one guy who knew how to catch, squirrels and whatnot, you knew how to do squirrel traps, if you were that one guy, everybody gravitated around you. But more importantly, listen to me, fellas. These fakers, frauds, red pill rascals, and MGTOW morons ain't gonna tell you what I'm about to tell you right now. Not only when you are a producer, not only does it make people gather and gravitate to you, but it also makes them submit to you. Oh, did I say that? Being able to produce compels people to submit. It doesn't matter if the other men on the island hate your damn guts. If you are able to outproduce them, everybody's going to have to submit to you, including the women and even the men. They will have to submit to you. They're not going to have a choice. He won't have a choice. At the end of the day, everybody's going to be saying, can you produce? Whoever produces the most, especially if you can produce in excess, other people it'll be mandatory that they bow to you. Nigga in the chat room, submit to do what? Whatever in the hell he tells you. You're going to submit to whatever in the hell he says. Because if you don't, he's going to get everybody else on the island to do his bidding. And if he tells them to throw your ass off the island, guess what's going to happen? Some of y'all were raised around some weak ass people who they haven't even covered basic critical thinking with you. They haven't even covered basic critical thinking. There's always some broke ass nigga sitting up. Well, what did that mean though? Nigga, it means you'll be the first one we vote off the island, fella. If the man who gets the most fish don't like you, you will be the first one he gets rid of. And you ain't gonna be able to do nothing except sit there and get your ass either thrown off the island or killed. Because while you sitting up there trying to debate, oh, it don't matter. Just because he can make more food than me, and just because he can make more clothes, that don't mean that he should be running things. That don't mean he should run things just because he's smarter and more resourceful and more productive than me. That don't mean he should run. Some of y'all little mama's boys. Some of these little tender booty mama's boys, when you come into a forum like this and you're sitting here talking to grown people and trying to tell us that your lack of productivity should be overlooked. What the hell? Dude, just because you're losing here doesn't mean you can debate your way out of it. Your debating talk ain't gonna feed nobody. You debating isn't gonna feed anyone. When your woman's stomach is growling, she wants evidence. She don't want to have you sit up here giving her debate points. Well, you see, we live in a system of capitalism. Is what it is, chickie baby. You got to understand that we live in a system of capitalism. And in that capitalist system, it ain't really fair, you know. Because some folks there, what they do is they be getting over. And you know what? Your woman wants the man who's going to get over. That's the bottom line. Some of y'all, that's just some tough love. If you've been living in the dream world, too bad. Your woman wants a man who is able to make things happen. And let me tell you something else. Your mama wished she could have gotten a man who could make things happen. And you are the bastard son of a man who couldn't make nothing happen. So now you're around a bunch of grown people giving us your daddy's deadbeat talk. And you're upset that when you're around a bunch of grown folk, we don't adhere to your daddy's deadbeat talk. Your mama fell for that. The rest of us don't. Why you think we got all these old women who are on the phone tonight talking about the niggas' money ran low? He was cheating on them, beating on them, and everything else, but it wasn't until the money wasn't right. As soon as she felt like the money wasn't right, that's when she said, oh, wait a minute. The money ain't straight. You can't get away with none of that stuff you've been doing. The money ain't right. People, that's called hierarchy. Hierarchy ain't going nowhere. You fellas who are failures in life because you were never trained how to stop being a dumbass, hate to break it to you, but that ain't gonna change. Hierarchy isn't going anywhere. Your lack of ability to produce isn't gonna change how women see you. You're not gonna be able to debate your way into getting women to accept it. You're not going to be able to do it. I want the fellas listening to me tonight live and recorded to understand that's the most unsexy damn thing in the world to a woman, a grown man who starts arguing against the necessity to produce. Women don't have any use for that. A bunch of you fellas right now are trying to focus on, well, can I get her into bed? When I talk about desired fellas, I'm talking about a woman who cuts throats. I'm talking about a woman who works overtime. I'm talking about a woman who goes above and beyond for every damn thing. I'm talking about a woman who runs your damn business. I'm talking about a woman where you set the rules, period. Y'all aren't giving these women anything to say yes to. And then want to get in my chat room and debate. Well, it ain't really like that, Jason. You got to understand, on the island, you know, it ain't all about eating no fish. Now, there's more important things than eating. Oh, like what, nigga? Spirituality. If we gonna be on the island, then we need to get in touch with our spiritual side. Y'all worrying about all that producing and eating, and you really need to go on a 10-day fast and get your spirituality together. There you go. There's nothing a woman wants to see about that. Women respond to power. And money is a tangible form of power. Did you get that? Women are biologically wired to respond to power. And money is a tangible form of power. It isn't something that she got to guess about. It's not open to interpretation. She doesn't have to worry about if it's real. Either you got it or you don't. Either you got it or you don't. Fellas, the world right now is so deprived of producers. The women don't know what the hell to do with themselves. And yes, did they create the problem for the most part? Well, unfortunately. But the bottom line is, the reality is, the world is so starved for producers right now, the women don't know what to do. They don't know whether to jump the fence or whine they watch. So just understand what you're really dealing with. You need to make sure that you understand that that's a tangible form of power. A woman is going to think about getting up and leaving if she doesn't see any more power, if she thinks your power is on the wane. All these niggas like to talk about the ancient Egyptians and empires. Well, guess what? Your home is an empire. Your bank account is the royal treasury. And your woman is always monitoring the strength of the empire. Whether you like it or not. Your woman is always monitoring the strength of the empire. Always. And if the empire starts to look weak, the empire's power starts to wane, the empire is being overtaken by outside forces, your woman is going to look to join a new empire. Just like if you're producing at a high level and your woman is no longer loyal to the empire, your woman is no longer pulling her weight in the empire, your woman has become a drag on the empire, you're not going to keep her as a citizen. You're going to excommunicate her. You're going to exile her. Everybody got to do their part. But if you want to lead, there ain't no way to debate it. You're not going to be able to debate your way to prosperity. You might find some dumb females who'll take it for a little bit, but it's a whole bunch. The sheer magnitude of incels, bum niggas, beta males, down and out fools out here complaining is proof that most of the females are willing to be the side chick to the dudes in the leverage zone or peak value. That's it. Everybody else is expendable. Just understand what you're really dealing with. Everybody else is expendable. And I took all those phone calls tonight because I want you to understand this is real. It ain't just one female here or there. If the ladies in my chat room right now were to be honest, every single one of them would tell the damn truth and say, Jason, if that nigga is caked up enough and if he's bossed up enough, because you can't be, it doesn't matter if you got a lot of money if you're a beta male. If you are weak and recessive, it doesn't matter how much money you got. But if you've got a boss mentality, an alpha mentality, a masculinity, and it shows in everything you do, especially your finances, if these women were to be totally honest, they would say, Jason, I may not like it, but whatever he does, what I got is too valuable to leave, if they were to be honest. Some of them gonna be honest. She ain't going to invite him to get another woman, but she is not going to sit up here and toss back her producer. There's levels to this stuff. There's levels to it. Some of these people don't understand it. They don't get it. Well, they'll have time to figure it out. You'll figure it out here. You'll figure it out on the island, one or the other. If you're new here to tonight's broadcast, welcome to the business. We're going to be doing this once or twice a week. I'm going to try to get in here to do this. This is on our YouTube. If you haven't signed up for our Patreon, you're missing the exclusive content over there. I'm coming up with something special in that regard there. So I'm looking at having something a little more regular as far as that's concerned as well. So be watchful for that. If you haven't clicked that red subscribe button, do that now. Click that yellow notification bell. This is a channel that focuses on power dynamics. We don't care about dating. That's just a template. This is about power dynamics. So don't get it twisted. We're the only people who discuss this in depth. Yes, I'm going to put the chart up on the business. I want to thank everyone who has contributed to tonight's program here while I've been talking and everything. I want to thank everybody who has done that live or in the super chat there. Thank you for that as well. Emmy34H, thank you for that as well. Brother Anwar Williams, my man Andre Hatchett, definitely thank you for that as well here, brother. Everybody who has on the Cash app as well, I appreciate that from all of you. And this concludes tonight's broadcast of The Business. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, Mr. Jason Black. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, handle your business or your business will